It's time to add some spice to your nooner. Nooner funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
So where's the office, back at division? Yeah, in the office, baby. Going up.
All right, ready to cruise into the weekend with you guys, Rothman and Ice. And the man who sits on the porcelain throne at 10 TV.
Iron Throne.
Adam King, if you haven't guessed yet, to my right.
I just want to say we've held off this announcement for a while. Everybody, the shows are changing. It's going to be Matty Ice and King. We haven't told Rothman. We're telling him live on air.
See, I thought actually you weren't going to do it to the guy who's actually here.
Well,
I thought you were going to dunk on my boy, and then I subsequently was going to announce my retirement.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to do that. Matty Ice is, of course, sitting at home listening, and I didn't want to start the show
I
off.
hope he's not.
Yeah, no, that's what he does on his off days. He takes a PTO day to go home and listen.
Lies in bed and
listens.
Taps the app.
Yeah, he hits play and says, boy, I can't wait to hear what King and Rothman have to say.
Yes, that's right. King and Rothman, the K&R show. We have TLC at the mic there at the switches. Bake sticking around. You guys were talking about Woody Hayes, I think, a little bit on your show today. And then he tells me right away that his grandfather did what? Built a cabin or something for Woody Hayes?
Yeah,
Are you listening?
No. He didn't build a cabin.
Segment.
I thought you were
Get
directing
engaged.
it at Bake until you said the cabin.
He blew it all on the Ice King.
No, I thought you were directing it at Bake. I apologize. He's got a cabin down in Southern Ohio, and my grandfather was always talked about it, and he's an insurance salesman down there, and it was a big deal. Woody Hayes used to go in Southern Ohio all the time and take the players and go down there and do like getaway camps.
Cherish the cabin.
Cherish the cabin.
Is that what they did?
That's what they did.
Okay.
I think they probably chopped wood, as one does in cabins. I don't know what else you do in cabins, but I know you chop wood. And so that's what they did.
I believe
there's no porcelain throne at the cabin.
There is no porcelain throne.
No. That's
Home Depot bucket.
That's right. Fig leaves out there. All right. So were you talking about salaries today? About Woody Hayes? I thought I heard you say that he made, or was it Bo? Were you guys talking about him making like $75K or something like that?
Yeah, Bo might have talked about that with the, just the ever-changing landscape and how much these coaches are getting paid now. And they were talking about, we were talking about this whole thing with Bill Belichick, which never ends. This is like the story that keeps giving.
Can't wait.
I've never been so into UNC football in my life.
$10 million he's getting for this huge distraction down there.
So, and I'll have to ask Bo about this, because what I had heard was that Woody Hayes never made close to $75,000. That he was forced to take raises his last few years.
I have heard that.
That he was forced to take raises that to go from like $28,000 to $42,000. And that was his contract, that he never really took a raise at 28 that kind of forced him. I don't remember Woody Hayes ever making close to $75,000.
It doesn't. Right here it says when he was first the coach in 1951, his salary was $12,500. So $12,500.
Sounds like mine in 1990.
Is that not yours today?
Right.
1978, when it came to an end, $43,000.
That's right. Yes. That's what I'm telling you. He was forced to take raises. So I don't know. I thought I heard one of you guys say 75, and I was like,
it was not me that said that.
No, I was just curious. Well, maybe he did get some other side money or something else, but no, he wasn't that guy. And
you're not that guy, pal. You're not that guy.
How about this, AR? To know how little?
What was that from? Wait a minute. Why didn't I pick that out?
You don't know you're not that guy?
What is that?
That's a video, a viral video, not a movie.
Oh, okay. All right. So
I apologize.
It sounded familiar. Anyway,
so you want to know how little that was? So if you are compared to today's standards, if you account for inflation, his starting salary right now would be $124,000.
That's
and his
crazy.
ending salary would be $170,000.
Yeah.
Boy,
Yeah.
that's like what, 1/4 of what you make?
That's right. You know.
But you got to pay these guys $12 million to get the best.
Hey, you know what? If it costs $12 million to win a championship, I'm in. I don't,
So when they were making
It's not your money.
It's not my money.
before they made the change at Ohio State from Chris Holtman to Jake Diebler. I don't know if you remember this, Big. You may have been in on this conversation. I was talking to Maddie, and I said, this is before I knew they were moving on from Holtman or anything. Maybe it was in the transition or the way we were talking about it. Like it could happen, maybe it won't. And I said, I wonder if we're going to get to the day where some of these basketball programs decide, the ones that can't spend it in both areas, coaching and playing, and that they would go with more of the middling coach, the $1-2 million coach, and then dedicate all the money to the talent and see if they could catch lightning in a bottle that way. Because remember, the whole clamor was to get Calipari here. And all the money that you're paying Holtman to leave and Calipari to be here, and it's the only way to success. I'm not saying it wouldn't have been, but I started to believe now that, and UNC obviously has done this differently, that we could get to the day where the coaching salaries actually come back a little, but obviously the money they're dedicating to the players is going to be
And they may
nuts.
have to, right? There may have to be a course correction on coaching salaries if you're forced to pay so much money to your roster and your players.
Well, now I would ask, is
Put
it the
the
same?
disclaimer on it first. You're speaking as a TV salaried guy.
Yeah,
Start
exactly.
there.
So
Like when
they
you have
pay me-
King's money, you don't buy
Right.
toilet paper.
I think my most recent contract, I gave him back $100,000. So I only took 3.2 mil. With that said, is it the same pot for players and coaches, though, at the end of the day? I mean, especially with this new NIL ruling, you're only allowed to give, up to $21 million right now, like 20% of whatever you're making. And so if that's the case, I would imagine it's two different. You're pulling from two different funds. I don't think you can take that money from the coach and say, well, we saved $1 million here, let's give it here, unless you're not going to pay up to that $20 million, which some schools might. And in that case,
Spend to the cap.
spend to the cap. So if you don't spend to the cap, you could say, well, let's spend an extra $1 million here and let's go out and get AR as our basketball coach
Where
and just
you
see.
get-
Exactly. Buy the talent.
Where you're going to get that and where it's the same pot is a lot of times these coaches' salaries are paid by boosters. Well, that money would then be to NIL. Like
That's
the
true.
money is going to go to the players from the school. There's going to be a set cap there, but there's still going to be NIL. So that's where it's going to go.
I will say, I'm very intrigued, and I was reading about the House case. That's when I realized I was a big sports nerd, as I was sitting there reading really.
Is this when you prepped for the show when you got here about 5 minutes ago? Is this when
Rothman,
that happened?
I asked that we not share
sorry.
stuff behind the scenes
My
to
bad.
the listeners. Let's not fight on air.
You
all
can
right?
prep lots of different ways.
That's true. I was sitting in my car going,
Yes. Preparation H. Go ahead.
They do say that if the House case, there's a stipulation in there where they're able to go in and look and make sure that the NIL deals are actually NIL deals, not just people giving you $2 million behind the scenes. They want to make sure that they're legit deals that are capitalizing on name, image, and likeness. I thought, wow,
You
there
would
you
think.
go. There you go.
I saw this tweet today. It said, "If I could pay you, this may be a
Yes,
actually this would be
I'm in.
this would be the perfect guy because of where you are in the salary wise. If I could pay you $50,000 a year to play golf, but you couldn't make any other money, would you quit your current job?"
$50K is not a lot of money. That's
$200 doesn't buy you a pair of shoes.
That's-
You're the best.
Is that?
But I just want to know if you would do that.
Let me ask you.
You
this.
don't have to work.
I
All
can't
you have
make
to do is play
any money anywhere else.
No, this is
Do
it.
I have to pay for the golf?
No,
Well, I already pay a lot of money in
I'm
golf.
paying
So yeah,
you
that,
$50,000 a year to play golf, but you can't make any more money. That's the money you make.
I like
but you
to
don't
think-
have to work.
I like to think our GM listens to this show at 12:12 every day, and I want to say there is no amount of money that would keep me from the job I have right now. I love it.
Boy, it's very tempting.
I do love golf. Let's do it.
But $50,000 to just play golf, no work.
That's the
Now
dream.
you have to make ends meet somehow on that $50K, and a guy like you, you've got high-end needs.
You give me all the golf equipment I want ever?
We'd set you up with the golf stuff, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's
Balls,
interesting.
shoes, bags, those naked lady tees you like, and some other things. All right. We're just getting started. Hey, Bake, thanks for helping me.
Hey, always a pleasure.
I appreciate it.
To join with.
Always need a wingman.
What is this, the AK-47 show? Or
That's
what is
right,
this?
because the Iceman cooling off. All right, we come back. I had Matt Finkus on the show yesterday, great former Buckeye. I thought he had a very sharp take on the meaning of the game. You talk to these guys, the current guys, this generation of guys. I want to hear what you think about this. Next, Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Winners of the prestigious Platinum Microphone Award every year, given to the best radio station in the world. No need to look it up. It's real. The Fan.
Joining us on this episode are real Spectrum customers, Monique and Greg. We hear your family is a big fan of Spectrum.
Family of 4, we have about 18 devices last time I counted.
2 teams require a lot of speed. Everything they do is online.
There's gaming, there's streaming. Spectrum is perfect for us. I mean, it just seamlessly connects all our devices with lightning speed.
Sounds like Spectrum is really committed to keeping you connected.
It's amazing.
Newman Roofing, as part of their 2025 Commitment to Community initiative, is proud to partner with 10 TV and The Fan to launch Raise the Roof, honoring local heroes. This week, we salute U.S. Navy veteran Ronald Jordan. For over 25 years, Ronald has served our country and community, flying critical missions, protecting top officials, and keeping our streets safe as a Springfield police officer and homicide detective. With retirement around the corner, he's looking forward to traveling with his wife. Thank you, Ronald, for a lifetime of service.
Hey, it's Anthony. You know what the slogan is at the Good Feet store? Good feet, good life. Friends have asked me, how are my personally fit arch supports different from the inserts and insoles they can buy online or in department stores? There are big differences. My Good Feet arch supports are designed to provide me firm yet flexible function. What does that do? They actually help correct poor foot biomechanics, which leads to providing me long-term pain relief. I was also the guy who thought, well, if I buy good shoes, my feet won't hurt. It wasn't a bad thought. A lot of people think shoes are always the problem, when in reality, it's often the foot that goes into the shoe that's the real source of discomfort. When I got my personally fit Good Feet arch supports, my feet felt stabilized. The pain and discomfort went away. For more than 30 years, the Good Feet store has helped thousands of people, just like me, discover the comfort they've been dreaming of. They're on Stringtown Road in Grove City or Polaris Parkway. Learn more at goodfeet.com.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers, plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us, plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
The Buckeye Show.
Hey friends, Beamer here. You're used to hearing me on your ride into work. Starting Monday, you can hear me on your ride home on The Buckeye Show, Monday night at 6, right here on The Fan.
Do you want a job that is flexible, secure, and fun? It also offers excellent pay and is ranked as one of the best jobs in America, too. I'm talking about being a dental hygienist. And all you have to do is complete a 2-year program after high school. Visit ODA.org to learn more and to start helping people love their smile. This message is brought to you by the members of the Ohio Dental Association.
Most Ohioans believe every student, regardless of zip code, income, or background, deserves a great public education. And it's Ohio's dedicated public school educators who make that possible. This Teacher Appreciation Week, join the Ohio Education Association in saying thank you. Tell us about a teacher making a big impact and they could win a vacation package from NEA member benefits or other great prizes, including pizza for their students. Go to ohea.org to nominate a teacher, because public education matters.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Hey there, Central Ohio. Plenty of sunshine moving back in today, but so are some cooler temperatures. Highs this afternoon that only reach the 60s. Sunshine continues into early Saturday with 30s and 40s kicking off Saturday morning. 70s by the afternoon. Upper 70s and more sunshine for your Mother's Day. That's your latest 10 weather impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hey, kids. Anthony once did magic for birthday parties. See, when you say it out loud, it doesn't sound so bad. Back to Rothman and Ice.
How do they know it wasn't adult magic parties?
You really did magic?
I did.
What number am I thinking of?
Okay.
That's right.
I think I know what number.
He's not O's.
I think I know what number you're thinking of.
Heyo.
You probably didn't hear this. Maybe you did. You work in TV, highlights, scores. You don't have to pay attention to too much detail. But maybe you did hear this. So Jack Sawyer was on Big Ben's podcast, and he was kind of offering up the dynamic between winning a natty and not having to beat Michigan to do it. And so he was trying to get to, does it mean more? I think it's certainly, I had a buddy of mine text me, Whiskey Paul, actually, who I thought had a very good point.
That's his real name. His parents named him that?
No, I nicknamed him that.
Okay.
And so he said, for the Ohio State fans who would rather beat Michigan than win a natty, I say this. If you want to stick it to your rival fan base, what a better way to do it than winning it all? Well, yeah, that's the last word, of course. He said the rivalry is more about the fans and having to listen to the other fans' crap for a year. And I said, of course. I've looked at it from the fans' view. That's the only view I'm looking at it through, is the emotion. And I said the other day on the program, there are people in this world, including in Moneyball, where Brad Pitt says, I hate losing more than I enjoy winning. And I think there are people in this town and Buckeye fans across the nation who hate losing to Michigan more than they like winning other games. I do. Now, you put a national championship in front of them, of course, it's going to make everything, pale in comparison, but maybe not the Michigan game. And you'd love to have it both, and Sawyer's going to say that here, and then we'll dissect it.
Winning a national championship.
All that.
That takes no emphasis off how important the game is.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I understand that.
Exactly. But when you win a national championship, if anyone tells you they'd rather go 1-12 and just beat the team up north, you're crazy. You know what I mean? You're playing this game to win championships, and make no mistake about it, no one wants to beat those guys more than we do.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, when you there's nothing we could have done after that. You know what I mean? We have our shot to go chase the ultimate goal, which is to win a national championship. Yeah. And like in the NFL, you lose 4 games in the regular season, you're probably the best. You're probably the number 1 overall seed in the playoffs. So that's kind of like the approach we took, especially with the expanded playoffs. And I think it's going to continue to be like that. Obviously, the game is still going to be the game because it is the game, the best rivalry in sport. But I think at the end of the day, I think you'd be crazy to say you would rather beat them and not win a national championship instead of win a national championship and not beat them. And in a perfect world, you do both of those things. But obviously, we didn't. But winning a national championship kind of erases all that.
Wow, Jack Sawyer!
So he dropped the word crazy. You'd have to be crazy to want to beat Michigan and not win the natty. Now take this 1-12, 1-11 out of it. That is crazy. I understand that part, but that's not the argument. The argument isn't would you rather go 1-11 with a win over Michigan versus winning a natty. That's not the argument. Because no one really would choose that equation. Because it's not What they want is to beat Michigan involved in a pretty good season. I don't think it's because I don't know if beating Michigan would erase 1-11 for people. Jobs are going to go. Like that's the extreme of extremes.
I think that you can answer this question very easily. How quickly can you tell me the last 3 national championships for Ohio State?
Pretty quickly.
2002, 14, and January 20th. How quickly can you tell me the last 3 Michigan games Ohio State won?
Well, you go back to after
19, 18, 17.
Yeah, but in your mind, those games, how much do those games stick in your head? Do you think about
what happened?
Justin Fields coming in and he's hurt and he makes a great throw? Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
But these national...
You don't think... whoa.
No.
You don't think people know the J.T. Barrett scramble, the 90s games that were
the
lost?
62 to 39?
The Biaka Batukas?
Yes.
I mean, those sting, man.
The losses sit there. But the wins, they for so long just became another ritual of the season. And so I don't get the world where you can argue that one team at the end of the season gets rings, raises a trophy, goes to the White House. One team gets to call themselves national champions. Alabama and Auburn have a heated rivalry. It's not the game. Let's be clear. It's not the same. But I can guarantee...
It's you and Dom type of stuff.
Yes, exactly. Okay. 100%. Yeah. But they know... At the end of the year, Alabama, if they lost to Auburn and won a national title, they're not sitting there with their heads in their hands.
I know. That's what Paul said.
Yeah. And while I get that you can remember the games, the problem in my mind is national championships are forever. It does not matter what happens in 5 years in a row. You can instantly, in your mind.
I will tell you this. I agree with you. I also do think there's a newness to this that's going to take some getting used to. That there are 2 things. One, I never thought I'd have this debate.
Yeah.
Ever. I didn't think you could win one without the other. Never did. Maybe that was naive. I assumed maybe they would expand, but not to the point where you'd get this right away. The other part I think that matters in this conversation is that they hadn't beaten them 11 in a row and then lost this year and won it. They've lost 4 in a row. I think the compounding of it makes it a little deeper conversation. The emotion, I think, is a little more intense based on the 4 in a row versus if you ripped off 11 and this was the only one you had lost, how could you crush them? You're not going to beat them forever. You're not going to win every game. I think that has something to do with this particular emotion.
I think you exactly nailed it. And I try to not look at it, this discussion. I'm not trying to look at it in a discussion of May 2025. I'm trying to look at it in the grand scheme of the rivalry. And let's say, and obviously this isn't how the rivalry works, but let's say that for the next 10 years, Ohio State wins 3 national titles, but they rotate every year with Michigan, winning, losing, winning, losing, winning, losing. In no world would people continue to believe that the Michigan game was as big. Right now, it means more because it's the one thing you don't have. You have the national title. You are the best team in the country. You have everything you ever wanted except that win over Michigan.
I also, and I think you're right, I also think that the fire burns a little hotter because of the perception and maybe reality of how Michigan has earned some of these.
I agree.
I think that's part of it. I think that's why this conversation right now has a lot of stuff in that stew. Here's Matt Finkus from yesterday, and I think he kind of did. He's a perfect guy to ask because he's present with his team, but he lived in the 90s, and he kind of knows what it's like because he has the advantage of time. He has the advantage of 30 years built up.
The gravitas of time is going to catch up with these guys eventually. Now, the national championship is a huge thing, and you're never not going to be national champion. But for a guy like Jack Sawyer to have not won one and to say that the national championship is going to erase that, I don't think that that's going to be the case when in 10 years down the road for him. I just don't. I mean, and as a former player, I mean, I've got 1 pair of gold pants. I've got one from coaching. I've got one from playing. It hurts. And again, times are changing. The question is out there. Is the game going to have the emphasis that it always has had with this new playoff system and the conferences, possibly realigning and these giant mega conferences? Is it going to matter as much? Right now, it still does. I think at the end of the day, yes. Does it take the sting away? Absolutely. Did beating Arizona State in the Rose Bowl take the sting away from that game at the time? 100%. 10, 15 years down the road, is it going to hurt not having a pair of gold pants for Jack Sawyer? 100%.
I'm a little frustrated with that because he's right. It's always going to hurt. But that's not the question. The question is, ask Jack Sawyer in 10 years, would you rather have 4 wins against Michigan or that national title on your finger? And I think at the end of the day, the answer always has to be a national title because you are immortal when you win a national title. You are forever when you win a national title. Now, there are the people that you can count in your head right now that have won all 4 years against Michigan, and you can't take that away. But go to a guy like Troy Smith and say, Troy, you beat Michigan. You were you dominated them. But would you have rather won that Florida game? Maybe not that, obviously you have to win that 1-2 game.
Different era.
Yeah, but say, the year before. If I could trade that Michigan win of your sophomore year, wouldn't you rather have that in a national title?
I think the intensity of it when he played is a little different. I'm not saying it's not intense now. We saw what happened after this year's game. Of course it is. But there's a little bit of a get-out-of-jail-free card now if you want to be able to use it. This team used it. And to their credit, and that's awesome. And I did say before the season, this team could be what I'd call a halftime team, where you get to come back in 10 years, 20 years, and be that team. And I agree with you, that will be. But I think you can have a lot of right in this conversation. It doesn't have to be one or the other. Ben put it to him that way, but I think that those guys answered it fairly correctly.
And I think he had a great answer. I just think it's not what he said. It's what's being said over and over again about this debate. I think it's being lost because I think, one, we're so caught up in right now that it's been 4 in a row. You're right. It's so fresh right now. And we're also coming off the exact example of how it went down. The largest upset in the game history, but then Ohio State goes on the greatest run in college football history. You couldn't have more extremes. But at the end of the day, you talk about a halftime team. You know what they don't honor at halftime? Guys that went 3-1 or 4-0 against Michigan. They don't say, hey, let's bring them back out here. They never won anything, but they beat Michigan, so let's bring them back out here. And I would also argue, and it's a different era, you heard him say the Arizona State Rose Bowl. Beating Utah in that Rose Bowl game was great, but it did nothing to cure the pain from that Michigan game.
That Ohio State team needed that game so badly.
Yes,
they did. Coop needed it. They needed it. They finally won a big one.
2 different eras.
And it was the 2 different eras of it, and what you were playing for then versus what you're playing for now. We'll come back, and the drama around a jersey number, is it finally settled? We'll give you that answer in 2 minutes. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
With Progressive's collision coverage, my family gets up to $1,000 for vet bills if I'm injured in a car accident. And that makes this Chihuahua really feel like part of the family. What's that? I don't sound like a Chihuahua? Oh, I'm sorry. What exactly am I supposed to sound like? I guess all Chihuahuas are high-strung, riding around in expensive designer purses. Actually, I prefer riding in cars. So I appreciate that my family protects me with Progressive's pet collision coverage. Okay, maybe I am a little high-strung. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Coverage for dogs and cats is included with the purchase of collision coverage and is subject to policy terms.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Annie's first oil change wasn't as hard as she thought because she went to AutoZone, where a friendly AutoZoner helped her find the right oil and save on an oil filter. He explained the job and showed her free how-tos on AutoZone.com. When she was done, AutoZone recycled her old oil for free. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
The great thing about Atlas Butler is they do it all. Heating, cooling, plumbing. Look, I'm busy with work. I don't have time to wait around or deal with lots of people. One company, one call, and they do it all. Wonder if they'll clean out my inbox. Seriously, offer that service. Please.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
Hi,
Hi, this is Bob Masheter from Dick Masheter Ford. Thank you to all of Central Ohio as we head towards 60 years of doing business in the Buckeye State. Dad opened up in 1967 simply trying to offer a better way to buy a car, and we've been working ever since to serve our neighbors. We have served you through wars, recessions, and even a Chinese virus. Here is to serving you and your kids and your grandkids for the next 60 years, except on Sundays when we're closed, because it's the right thing to do. Still 24/7 at masheterford.net. Thanks.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Anthony once got Jack Nicklaus to quote the movie Caddyshack, so he's got that going for him.
The last time I saw a mouth like that, I had a hook.
Which is nice. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
Let's go while we're young.
Should have gone out on that one. Should have gone out on that. When I got Jack to quote Caddyshack.
You should have retired?
That should have been, but a good
What did he
rap.
say?
What did he say?
It was so meaningful. You can't even
setting it up.
Oh, okay. Everybody quiet, please. Cole,
Give me a minute.
quiet down.
I mean, he hasn't even potted the music down yet. I mean, I'm just kind of easing into the segment like an old man into a warm bath. Just kind of let it, you know.
What do you know about an old man in a warm bath?
Oh my goodness! You know what? I do this to challenge myself. It's always good at any age to just kind of at any level of your life, just try a new challenge. Get out of your comfort zone. Hang out with people you're not that fond of. Okay. All right, so here we go. I said to him, "You did something of all your highlights of all your life. The 1-irons, everything that you've done, the Masters in '86. It's all unbelievable." So the one that shocked me the most was when you won the British at St. Andrews in 1970, that after Doug Sanders missed that short putt and then you beat him in a playoff, when you made yours, you threw the putter in the air and didn't know where it was coming down. Just helicoptered that thing. And I said, I kind of would expect that from Judge Smales, not from Jack Nicklaus. And he doesn't respond right away to the Caddyshack reference. And I'm like, I blew it. But he gives me a great answer. He's like, I knew I wanted to win at St. Andrews so badly. It was the home of golf. I didn't think my career would be complete if I didn't win at the home of golf. And it was unbelievable. Good answer. And then I'm going on to something else. And, you know, Jack, he kind of reaches over, kind of grabs the forearm a little bit, and he goes, but don't sell Doug Sanders short. He was a tremendous slouch. And I looked in, I said, that my work is done here. That's a wrap. By the way, I'm looking over at this Starbucks coffee.
Yes.
Now, can you turn that towards me for a second? Cole, I need you to weigh in on this. You know the saying, live, laugh, love? You know, I see people that have this hanging in their homes and things.
Yeah, I've seen
the
that.
inspirational quotes.
That they don't live by.
Wow, that was deep.
All right.
He's judging everyone.
Every
All right.
person.
His says, live, laugh, love you. So I'm wondering if the person at Starbucks actually gave the inspiration to him, hey, love yourself today, or does he now have a new stalker?
Well, that's the $1 million question, Cole.
Because I took it as live, laugh, love you, meaning love you today, do something for you today. He took it as, well, this person must be another great fan of
That's
mine.
a big fan. Big fan.
Anthony, listen, when you're Adam King and you're a big star, and you walk into your local coffee establishment,
even though it's Starbucks,
even though it's a chain, when you walk in there and you got your hair ready for radio,
that's right,
okay, / YouTube, where people are going to be watching you got to understand that you're going to get recognized by people, and you're going to have fans, and some of those fans may be. They may not follow the same etiquette that most people would. Most people would just be like, "Oh, hey, that's Adam King," and I'm gonna, text my friends, "Hey, I saw Adam King at the coffee establishment today." Other people may be a little bit more forward, as was this barista who claims that she loves Adam. That's how I read it.
Okay, so you're on Team King here with the the Glazapalooza that happened over.
Oh, it's a Glazapalooza.
Because I'm reading it as that was someone that is pretty philosophizing and it's just live, laugh, love you. Meaning, love
laugh,
yourself.
I do the laugh
God
at
forbid
yourself.
Adam have a fan base.
I'll say this.
Well, maybe you're right, because if there's one guy that probably doesn't need to love himself anymore, it would be him.
I'll say this.
Okay.
Cole, great speech. I'll pay you after the broadcast.
Great speech. Hey, great speech.
With
You got a problem with what I'm saying? Untie your tongue and you come out here and talk, huh?
All right, go ahead. Wow.
A double.
Double.
With that said,
droppers.
This was an order ahead, as the youths do. So you order from your phone.
Utes?
You order from your phone. They make it.
But they know your name.
Well, they know there's a million Adams out there.
Oh, it's just Adam? I think when you're ordering and paying for it, though.
It says Adam.
Well, that's just they're putting your first name on there, but they're getting your last name with the order. It's a credit card thing.
I appreciate that. So you do think that it's personal?
No, I think it's just a nice sentiment.
Listen, the Powell Starbucks, I just want to thank you very much. And I know you're probably listening right now while making coffee, and we just want to say thank you. Anything else?
Maybe,
I honestly, it sounds like Rothman is more hurt that nobody told him today that they live, laugh,
TV
love him.
People love coffee, by the way.
Yeah, I drink it all day, every day.
You and Nicole Sheeran got to be in some coffee club together.
I have to be here until 11:30 p.m. tonight. So coffee's a necessity.
He has to be. By the way, I'll give him this because I've been there. The one thing I would say
Getting recognized in public?
At one point in time, years ago.
Yesterday.
But I'm going to tell you this.
When the Pope was watching you in Chicago?
You guys are unreal.
Okay, I'm done.
He has to be the mentally and physically sharpest at the very last 5 minutes of his day. You name another job other than a bullpen closer,
astronaut.
Whatever. Well, no, they have to be sharp the whole way. I'm talking about you don't really have to be mentally and physically on until the last 5 minutes of your day. You ramp up. Everybody else ramps down.
Mm-hmm.
You get to 4 or 5 o'clock on a regular job, you're mailing it in. You come in, let's say at 2 o'clock or whatever, and you're working till 11:30. If you're doing a sportscast at 11:23 or whatever, you have to be as on as possible at the very end of your day. Because if that 4 or 5 minutes goes well, you had a good day. It doesn't matter what happened in the previous 8 hours. If that goes to crap, you had a bad day. Tape doesn't roll. You mispronounce a name. You get a score wrong. You've had a bad day. I don't care what led up to the sportscast.
And if you had a bad day.
That's right.
And it's your day before the weekend, you sit at home thinking about it for the next 2 days. That's all you do. Think about it, Cole. That's what you should do. Cole, if you feel you've had a bad show today, you go home and you sit there and you think about it.
I review the tape. I go back and watch the YouTube.
How can we be better?
So so you weren't here yet. I'm sorry, I got to say it. You were not here yet at 11:50.
Okay.
And I go to him and I say, you know what would be really cool if he doesn't show?
That would be
if he forgets.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, that wouldn't be very good at all. And I say, why? Because you'd have to talk? I mean, and you said what?
I said, I have no problem talking, but hosting and producing, that's a lot on my plate.
Oh, it's a tough world out there, kid.
I said if somebody else produces, I'd consider that an upgrade.
It was about 11:40.
It'd be less chances to look at his phone during the conversations.
I was sitting on Sawmill as they tear up Sawmill.
I was tweeting.
He was tweeting.
971 RNI on Twitter.
Twitter.
Dang it, you had that at the ready.
I was sitting on Sawmill at 11:40, and they were tearing up the road, and I thought, no call, no text. This man trusts me with his life at this point. He trusts that I will show.
No, I think he was rooting for you not to show, to be honest.
There was a moment in time where I felt like, you know what? I'm ready for either one.
This is my 20th time hosting? I just walk in and do it at this point.
I think AR was rooting for the jokes to write themselves.
Yeah.
So I think that he was actually rooting for you to not show.
I did want to mention this, that I guess Abdul Carter, the Giants, picked a new number. Lawrence Taylor said, you can't have mine. Phil Simms says, my family says you can't have mine. And so I guess he took the 5 from Lawrence Taylor and the 1 from Simms and made 51. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And I was quizzing Cole on this, and I'll quiz you on this. Because it doesn't happen very often where the legend says nah. Because it puts him in a horrible spot.
Mm-hmm.
Horrible spot. Now, especially if it's a first round or a top pick overall top.
Well, what was it? Cam Ward just got to use his number?
Warren Moon.
Yeah, Warren Moon.
He said fine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it makes the legend look
good.
Well, yeah, but
Not
if you
only
don't...
that, Warren Moon went and presented it to him and handed him
now,
the jersey.
I like the ones where if you join a team and a current guy already has that number, it's not a retired, and then there's a negotiation, can I pay you to have that number? Like he's a bigger star. The other guy that has his number is a lesser player. Certainly he'll take the cash. Oh, man, I'm all out of cash. So he'll take the cash. So I was going to ask you, who was the guy here where he had to ask the legend and the legend said yes?
At Ohio State?
Yeah. He didn't know.
Bobby Carpenter?
No.
I don't know. It was over your shoulder. Give me a number.
No, if I do that, you'll get it.
I don't know. I had never heard this story before.
I don't think I've ever heard this story.
Andy Katzenmoyer asked Archie Griffin if he could wear 45.
That makes sense. Yeah, I would have.
You think Archie would ever said no?
Yeah.
First of all, Andy's local. He's a massive star. It's a compliment. But, I mean, you got to be that guy.
You said that he did that his freshman year. So he wouldn't have been a massive star yet. Like he showed up
No. What I'm saying is he was a massive star locally.
Oh.
He was a can't miss, just stud. Coming to Ohio State. You're right. He hadn't proven it yet at the college level.
Yeah.
But Westerville South, local. I don't know. Maybe if Andy was never from here. Let's say Andy was from, you name it.
Yeah.
Chaminade, Madonna.
There you go.
What in the world
does Arch give him the number?
That's where Jeremiah.
Does Archie give him the number? He's not from here.
Because he probably never would have heard of it.
I don't know if he
Especially
has.
back then. There wasn't rivals or 24/7.
But so what? Here's my question.
It's rare. What I'm saying is what Phil Simms did was rare.
And he has every right to. That is something that this is a sidebar, real quick. It's like the person that asks you to give up your seat on the airplane so they can sit next to somebody that's their friend. You're not required
Do you have to go to the middle?
You're not required to give up your seat. No. They retired your number. You shouldn't look bad because you didn't want your retired number.
We need to continue that part. The airplane one is interesting. Let's do some overs and unders next. Do we have those prepared?
Hold on. Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes. My microphone isn't on, but everything else is good.
We'll do that next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
We used to have a billboard with our host's face on it, but only ugly people work here now.
You mama say you ugly, hey!
The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
The Roofing Guys are your locally owned, trusted family business right here in Central Ohio. They've been hammering quality and service through the roof for over 25 years, offering professional services in roofing, siding, gutters, and more. Contact them at theroofingguys.com. That's theroofingguys.com.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with turbo power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Chargers sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Guys, what's up? It's Matty Ice, and I'm here with Wendy's. And if you're looking for your next sandwich love, check out the Cajun Crunch Chicken Sandwich. This sandwich really has me feeling the heat, and it's packed with bold Cajun flavors that add that perfect little kick. Plus, it's topped with crispy onions that give it a satisfying crunch in every single bite. And did I mention this is all on top of Wendy's iconic spicy chicken sandwich? So if you love that, you have to get your hands on this Cajun Crunch Chicken Sandwich before it's gone. For that little extra kick, it's got to be Wendy's. Open until midnight or later.
Summer's just around the corner. Are you ready to hit the road in style? At Germain Toyota, the adventure starts now with the 2025 Toyota Tundra. Rugged, reliable, and built to take on anything summer throws your way. Drive off in a new Tundra with 1.99 APR for 48 months. That's right, low financing, high performance, and a season full of possibilities. Hurry into Germain Toyota. Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road or online at germaintoyota.net. 1.99 APR for 48 months with approved credit. See dealer for details.
Social media is fun, but it's not the whole picture. Comparing yourself to what you see online can be stressful. For more tips on reducing stress, go to mha.ohio.gov/check-in. A message from the Ohio Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services.
Common Man and Bob Capace here for Worthington Jewelers. Bob, you know what I love the most about you?
Did I pay you to do these commercials?
That and the way you treat your customers.
All right, listen. I will hook you up in our warm, inviting environment. You will be greeted by our top sales professionals that are non-commissioned, but will help guide you through the entire process.
You're my guy, Bob. Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington, worthingtonjewelers.com. Tell them Bob Capace sent you.
Hi, it's Bobby Carpenter. We're taking Morning Juice Digital. Catch me and Tito on the Fan's YouTube channel and the Fan 3 weekday mornings from 6 to 8. Plus, you can watch the show on the free 10 TV Plus app each morning at 10 a.m. or stream us on your smart speaker. More talk, fewer commercials, attack and dominate.
This PGA Tour moment is brought to you by True Green.
In the 2000 PGA Championship, Tiger Woods was going for his third major in a year. Tiger found himself in a shot-for-shot, birdie-for-birdie fight with Bob May. Tied after 72, they headed to a 3-hole playoff where Tiger hit a 20-foot putt for birdie on 16. He quickly walked toward it, pointing at the hole as it dropped in. Tiger went on to win by 1.
True Green, the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour.
A great lawn is like a great sports team. It takes expertise and a little extra care to really stand out. That's where True Green comes in. They're the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour, so they know a thing or two about keeping grass looking like a fairway. It's more affordable than you think, and they'll even match any competitor's price. Plus, True Green backs it all up with a satisfaction guarantee. Head to truegreen.com today. Let the pros do the work while you sit back and enjoy the results.
Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Rothman and Ice presents Overs and Unders.
No clue what's coming here, but overs and unders.
Over-under number of over-unders Cole has.
You got to set the number then.
3.5.
What did I set the over-under at time he would show up today? Because it crushed
that's our
the
first one.
Oh, okay.
The over-under that Rothman said, I'll totally throw him under the bus for this, was 11:49:30.
Wow, and I crushed the over. That's wild. That's wild. Good for me.
Good for you. You barely left enough time to hit a red light.
I hit a lot of red lights, okay? Trust me.
Adam, do you have an iPhone?
I do have an iPhone, an Apple. Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. Because this will be apropos to a topic that we address later. Our first over-under, before he checks to verify, how many steps do you think Adam King has averaged this month over under 7,500.5? Average per day.
Ooh.
Do you know how to look this up?
You're asking me this?
I know how to look it up.
Okay.
I'm going to say...
I don't own an iPhone, so I don't know how to do this.
I'm going to say over.
Average steps for the month. Now, there's been a lot of rain this month.
Ooh, there's been a lot of rain.
Steps per day this month is the
and I didn't
way
walk
that I should have said
Muirfield this week, which would have helped my average.
Oh, there's been a lot of rain this month.
Thank the golfing gods I didn't have to do that.
Is Adam getting his steps in?
I don't know, man. From the cubicle to the Keurig, and I don't know. That's not many steps. That's like 3.
I think I want to switch to the under now that I think about my month.
You're saying 7,500 for the month.
For a day.
Per day for the month.
See, I don't know. I don't keep track of that. I don't know how many steps is good to have in a day.
10,000.
10,000 is like insanely good.
In a day.
Yeah.
Ooh, I just looked.
Oh, 7,500.5 was the over-under.
All right, I think we're both taking under.
This month,
I don't know.
I walked an average of 5,000 steps.
Oh, man. Hey.
I got to get out more. Or I got to keep my phone in my pocket more.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be. It could be that Adam's getting his steps in and just leaving the phone
the
around.
problem.
I often go for walks without my phone.
I highly doubt that's the problem. He's not separated from that thing very much.
It's always in my pocket.
Yeah. All right, so Draymond Green is in
your pocket.
He's in a bit of a quandary, okay?
Who?
Draymond Green.
Yeah.
If he gets 2 more technical fouls in these playoffs, he gets suspended for a game. So the over-under on how many more texts Draymond Green will get. By the way, he's at 5, and they've played, like 7, 8 games, something like that. So his per-game rate is pretty high right now. How many more technical fouls will Draymond Green get in these playoffs? Over, under 1.5.
So he's played 9 games.
There you go.
I would say...
Really depends on whether they
win. Yes.
Yeah, I think honestly, if they
That's
go
the whole
down
thing.
3-1, I could see them getting another one because then maybe they're out of it. If they hang in there and win at home tomorrow night, then all of a sudden, because Curry's got to get to him and say, you've got to get me to... Curry's going to miss, 2 more games?
Yes, he's out for a week from the injury.
Maybe 3. Oh, it's because the series might be over.
Yeah.
By the time he's even able to come back. All right. Listen, I'm going to... You said he's got to get 2 more, and you said the over-under is 1.5, so I'm going to take the under because at the very end, I don't think he wants to be, although he was kind of the reason they got in trouble against the Cavs the year the Cavs won the title. That kind of sparked the comeback, but I feel very odd trusting him at all. This is... But I'm going to give him 1. If you said the over-under was a half, I would lean over, but you're giving me a chance for him to get 1 and still be available. So I'll take the under.
I think I'm probably going to take the over on that one just because I think that the Warriors are going to make this a 7-game series. And I think they could end up advancing. And if they advance, I think it's for sure going to happen. So, and I'm with you. I think if things go south, things could go south. And he could just kind of say, hey, you know what? Who cares if I'm suspended for a game? We're not going to win anyway.
I am saving that clip, and that is going to be a drop later in the show. Okay. How many games do the Cavs win in this series against Indiana? Over, under 2.5?
Over.
I don't know how you can be that confident. Now, the guys are supposedly playing tonight. There's a reason they're favored.
Going away.
You couldn't see them losing the series 4-2?
No.
Okay.
No, I guess when you say it like that, yeah, well, I mean,
Don't back off your hot take.
No. I stand by it. I still think the Cavs win this series. I don't.
Well, then you're set then on the over.
I think I would take Cavs over 3.5 if you want that. Maybe even over 4.5 in this series. No, but I think that, I mean, I guess it's not as definitive as I expressed, but yes, I do think the Cavs win the series still. I think they go on the road, get away from home.
The over means they win the series because the over means that Game 7 will be in Cleveland, right? So they would probably win that game if these guys get healthy and remain healthy. I think it's a great number, by the way, because
thank you.
I could easily see them splitting. I could see them splitting. I could see them splitting in Indiana, coming back down 3-1, protecting home court to make it 3-2, and then the pivotal one that they'd have to do to get the over. So, mental hedge, I want him to do it. I'll say under.
All right, and I may have to repeat this one because it's going to get a little bit wordy and make it odd. But
That's
we know.
helpful on radio.
I'm just letting you know ahead of time, just so we're all clear. Aaron Rodgers and his decision. So Wednesday is when the schedule is going to be released. The over-under on when Aaron Rodgers makes his decision, how about a week from today? How about midnight Thursday going into Friday?
So the schedule would be out
on Wednesday. So if we cross over into Friday, that's an over. If it's on Thursday, that's an under.
Okay, so he's basically has that one buffer day in there that could mess with us.
So let me get. Do you think the schedule matters that much to his decision?
This has been a big topic.
This has been a big topic, TV boy,
on this show.
Why?
Thanks for listening.
We'll tell you next after the break. We may have to tell you.
I genuinely, that doesn't make.
I'm not trying to make you feel bad because there's a lot of. There's speculation. It's not like there's been a news story that this is the reason.
Okay, I was going to say, because if it's speculative, that seems idiotic.
You deal in facts.
I deal in facts.
Yeah, that's right.
Everything that I wrote, I just Googled it. I guess this is ridiculous.
All right.
That he's looking at the schedule. Everybody plays everybody. Move on with your life.
No. There's a lot more to it than that.
No.
For a 41-year-old man. Come back after a Sports Center update. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Oh, hey, the best football team in the country's on the best radio station in the country. Congratulations, Buckeyes. Here's to 100 more years together. Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan.
Going up. Prices keep going up these days. It feels like being on an elevator that only goes up. Going up. But not at Metro. We're pushing the down button. Going down. We've lowered prices. Get one line of 5G data for $40. Period. That's 20% lower. And you get a free Samsung 5G phone when you bring your number. Only at Metro.
5-year guarantee on eligible plans. Exclusions apply. See website for details. Not available at Metro with T-Mobile in the past 6 months. Tax applies.
This Mother's Day, be direct. Tell mom she shines without saying a word. At Diamonds Direct, we've curated a meaningful collection of timeless gifts for every budget, from birthstone rings and stackables to diamond pendants, pearls, and stunning earrings. So here's to Mom for her love, her strength, and always putting others first. This year, she deserves a gift that lasts a lifetime, and that's our specialty. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
Want to learn about Pick 4 from the Ohio Lottery? Okay. Pick 4 is a daily draw game where you pick 4 individual numbers between 0 and 9 that can be played straight, where each number must be drawn in an exact order or box where they can be drawn in any order. You can win up to $2,500 on a 50-cent bet. Learn more at OhioLottery.com or the Ohio Lottery app. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly. Want to go back to the radio? Okay.
Boating season is finally here, and Buckeye Lake Marina is your go-to destination for all your on-the-water needs. With the largest inventory in Central Ohio, you can choose from top brands like Bennington, South Bay, Crown Line, and more. Buckeye Lake Marina has it all. Pontoon boats, luxury tri-toon boats, even merch. Open 7 days a week to serve you better. Find your next dream boat at Buckeye Lake Marina. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com today for all your on-the-water needs. The good life, the lake life, starts at Buckeye Lake Marina.
It always seems to happen at the worst time. You're finally in bed after a long, hard day, and then you hear it. You sit up, heart sinking. Is that coming from the ceiling? All of a sudden, it's a middle-of-the-night flashlight hunt to find the leak. But don't worry, Newman Roofing has you covered, literally. With more than 3 decades in the business, we've seen just about everything a storm can throw at a roof. Our teams know how to spot the problem, explain your options, and fix it right the first time, with craftsmanship and care you can feel good about. We're not just here for a quick patch job, and we never will be. We're here to make sure your home stays protected season after season. So when it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, choose the company you can trust, Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF, or visit online at newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
AmeriHealth Caritas Ohio is your Medicaid plan for more benefits, more rewards. We know that good health means more than just seeing a doctor when you're sick. Eligible members can receive extras like home-delivered meals and family essentials, like baby carriers and kids' school supplies. Members can even earn rewards for playing mobile health trivia games. Learn more at AmeriHealthCaritasoh.com and call the Ohio Medicaid Consumer Hotline at 1-800-324-8680 to choose AmeriHealth Caritas Ohio.
Reds fans, we're off to the races. Assemble your pit crew and cheer on your Reds at the 2025 MLB Speedway Classic at Bristol Motor Speedway on Saturday, August 2nd. Tickets are on sale now to watch your Reds shift into high gear when they face off against the Atlanta Braves during this special showcase at one of racing's most iconic tracks. For tickets and more information, visit reds.com/Bristol.
Hey there, I'm Jack.
And I'm Stag.
We're just two deer that want to make sure you know it's deer season at your authorized John Deere dealer. The deer season that saves bucks. You know, like us.
Yeah, you can get $3,000 off select John Deere machines. No early wake-up calls or tree stands required.
Just a trip to your authorized dealer before June 2nd.
If you ask us, it's the only deer season worth celebrating.
Visit johndeere.com/deer season to find an authorized dealer and for complete finance details.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use, now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary. Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. After an off day yesterday, the Cleveland Guardians are back at Progressive Field tonight hosting the Philadelphia Phillies. Gavin Williams gets the start for Cleveland opposite Aaron Nola. First pitch is scheduled for 7:10. The Cincinnati Reds in Houston starting a series with the Astros at 8:10. Nick Martinez versus Hunter Brown, the pitching matchup in that one. You can hear it right here on The Fan beginning at 8 after the Buckeye show. The Cleveland Cavaliers trail the Indiana Pacers 2-0 in their Eastern Conference semifinal. Game 3 is tonight over in Indy at 7:30. Head coach Kenny Atkinson has said that Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, and DeAndre Hunter are all questionable. And the Columbus Clippers continue their series with the Indianapolis Indians at 7:05. This one's sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union. Enjoy rates lower than the national average, plus a special rate on balance transfers with a Visa Platinum or Visa with Rewards credit card.
Want to jinx your favorite sports team?
Please get out of my Van Halen t-shirt before you jinx the band and they break up.
Just ask Maddie to print your shirts. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, second hour of the program. Ari Wasserman from On3 Sports will jump on at 1:30. Get his take on college football, maybe going to the Sweet 16 here. I don't even have a feel on whether that's how much impact that will make. And we can talk to him about the bracket and how it would set up. I think that, I think if they're going to try to make this as legit as possible, you do have to rank them. You have to seed them as you rank them.
Yeah, you can't do that garbage conference champion. I mean, goodness gracious, that was bizarre. I mean, it helped the Buckeyes, but
it could have. Seriously, it could have, because I said on the program the other day, I don't know if their very first game after Michigan is against Oregon that it goes that way.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because Ryan Day said that the moment he knew things were different was when they walked out against Tennessee and saw all that orange. And he said that things could go one of two ways. He went back in the locker room. He thought that the guys could take that and say, like, man, we don't have any fans. Like, this is bad. Or they took it the way they did, which was, all right, guys, let's go.
They were the last team, I thought, that you wanted to challenge their pride.
Yep.
If you were an opponent. I think that you wanted them still in the mindset. If you were Tennessee, you needed to shut the you-know-what up.
And just go play football.
Yes. And I'm not saying they would have beat them anyway. Ohio State made so many great changes. They threw caution to the wind. They let Will air it out in a 26-degree night with wind chills in the single digits, and they just wrecked them early. And then it was just an avalanche. There was nothing Tennessee could do, even though Nico did his best to kind of keep them in it with his running ability. But yeah, I feel like that was the last team. You wanted them in their minds still. Well, there was 3 weeks between Michigan and Tennessee, so it was maybe the perfect time, because the fire was still stoked, and yet they had enough distance between Michigan and that it all kind of worked for them.
That they had that meeting that a lot of them credit for winning the national title, is they had that meeting where they aired everything out. I don't know if you want to wait. I don't want to, but the 16-team bracket, are we talking about now, or we wait until Ari?
Well, I wanted to give you a little update. Let's wait till Ari,
okay,
or maybe we can even do it a little bit.
I have thoughts on that when we get there.
But I wanted, because you asked why Aaron Rodgers would wait.
Garbage.
And to me, some of it had to do with compensatory stuff with the Steelers, wait till after the draft and all that.
That made sense.
But the main part was, and this is what Pro Football Talk was alluding to, because they said that he wants to see whether or not there are a bunch of primetime games and short weeks and this and that on whether he would want to sign with Steelers. The guy doesn't have that many options. He really only has one. Vikings aren't changing their mind right now, so he really only has one option.
Wait a minute.
So we can go on the need. He needs them. They need him. You can make that assumption. Then Karp came on the show the other day, and we started talking about why that would be that big of a deal. I could see the Sunday nights to Thursday nights or some short weeks that he wouldn't want to be a part of. But he brought up another good point, that when you have a bunch of prime timers, you're kind of put in a position where you have to be part of the promotion of the game a lot. Pre-game interviews, sit-downs with sideline reporters, a lot more advanced build-up to primetime games as to a regular game on a Sunday. But the gamble here would be he would care about that more than playing, because if he doesn't play this year, you don't see him sitting a year out and then coming back again, do you?
No. What are we doing here? Why are we giving this man all the power in the world to act like playing primetime games is the make or break for football? If that's your make or break, you shouldn't be playing.
I agree with that.
If you're worried about a sideline interview, deciding...
Not a sideline interview, the advanced build-up. Yeah.
If you're worried about that and how many times you have to do that, then you shouldn't be... If I'm the Steelers, I say, wow, we're looking to go win a championship, and we're waiting on you to decide if you want to lead up to big games. Every player in the world wants to play in big games. And if you don't want that, then we don't want you. And I'm not with the Steelers. I'm saying that's what should be said. This is what an insane concept. You want a guy that wants to be there. Yeah. You don't want to wait. Listen, the draft is one thing. That made sense. You want to see what they're going to do with the future of the franchise. But what are we doing? What are we doing?
At the end of the day, I'm with you. I feel like that.
Well, I hope you're not against me.
He likes himself a lot more than not.
And
I feel like that he could always say no to certain things. I think he has that clout also. And so, according to this show in Pittsburgh, Colin Cowherd said that he was told that Rodgers wants to wait and see how many primetime games the Steelers get. If the Steelers get enough early starts, he's willing to sign. But if the team gets too many night kickoffs, he's not going to do it.
That is one of the craziest reports I've ever heard.
Now, the craziness part and Rodgers tend to go together a little bit.
Yeah.
But not when it comes to this. Now, maybe he went through it with the Jets and feels like, I'm not going through that garbage again. What should be the tiebreaker is that a place that I want to have my final lap around the track? Can I win? Can we be competitive? It's a coach I've always wanted to play for, and I get to kind of write my own ending because I had this horrific Achilles injury, and by the grace of the medical gods, I'm back and I can actually do this and somebody wants me. He's already said he's not going to break the bank. He's not asking for $40, $50 million to play. Not that he could get that amount, but he said he'd play for 10. He didn't go as far as saying he'd play for free, but nobody would. So I agree with you. While it sounds like the most absurd thing you've ever heard, you also have to put it into a little bit of context of who we're talking about. He is a little bit out there.
But there's a difference here. And the difference is he's been out there about life. He's been out there about football things every now and then. This is out there about something that should not be a deciding factor for a franchise. I'm not looking at it from Aaron Rodgers' perspective. He genuinely believes this is important. Then okay, that's fine. Whatever you want to say there. But as a team, as a franchise, do you want to sit down in a meeting room and say, boy, cross your fingers, guys, if we have a lot of 425 kicks or 1 o'clock kicks, we got our guy. Like, what in the world? As a franchise, you should look at Aaron Rodgers and say, we'll pay you a good amount of money to come play football for Mike Tomlin, to come play football for one of the winningest programs in professional sports, and you can come try to lead us back to the playoffs and be our guy. Or you can sit at home and think, thank goodness I didn't have to do that thing where I tell people where I went to college for Sunday Night Football. I mean, come on.
I'm with you. There's a little bit of a good riddance to him.
Yes.
Out there. But there's also, I think, a higher floor with him than anything they've got right now. So if they're, and I'm including Will Howard. And so.
A higher floor?
Yes.
Yes. 100%.
Much higher.
Yes.
With him.
Well, yeah, you're talking, Aaron Rodgers versus an NFL rookie who's never played a snap.
So if the Steelers are still in the, quote, winning business, being competitive, not a soft tank or a semi-tank, not a we'll see how it goes. If they're still the Steelers, they're going to want him. And if he's cheap, as he says he is, they're really going to want him. And so I agree with you. This whole schedule stuff seems really out there. I think the waiting is because of what he said on McAfee. Got some things going. I'm not sure right now. I mean, he was wearing a wedding ring a ring on that finger, and now it's not anymore. So he tends to do this kind of stuff.
Here's my problem. And this, you know what? This is my problem with modern sports. Here we go.
As opposed to the sports you really loved.
Yes.
The leather helmets.
Helmets.
Played for the love of the game, not the money, that.
My problem is.
Traveled around in caravans.
Yes. I'm tired of these planes, okay? Keep them on the ground. No, I am tired of the players the players that don't live up to the talent, that the talent doesn't match the requests and the I don't know what the persona.
You must love the draft then.
But like that's like I want, if you are a really good player and you want to have the swagger of a really good player or the ego of a really good player, a franchise has to deal with that. That's fine. I don't like that. Like I honestly think Joe Burrow has perfected this. Like he's just there to play football, and listen, he's got the Met Gala, but he's very much
backless outfits.
Wait, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about just arriving to the games. You don't think he? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Joe Burrow doesn't walk into the Bengals front office and say, this is what I want, or I'm not playing football this Sunday. Except when it comes to T. Higgins.
Okay, that's fine. He wanted a star receiver.
That's right. We're not going to blame him for that.
Yes. What I'm saying is I'm tired of the guys that don't live up to the expectations that they set, and they try to hold teams hostage because they think they're owed X, but they're only worth Y.
College football players.
Honestly, I look at a guy like Jeremiah Smith, and I think that is a perfect example of what college football should be.
How about Carnell Tate?
Carnell Tate said he never was going to leave Ohio State, and I believe him. He wanted a good amount of money for what he was worth. He'd be a wide receiver one anywhere. I think that's a perfect example of guys that are going out saying, this is what I feel I'm worth, and I just want to be paid what I'm worth. I can't stand the guys that are asking for more than what they actually are.
Don't ask me to represent you at your next contract negotiation.
That's fair.
Because it may be tough.
That's fair. I didn't help myself.
You really did.
Yeah.
I'm sick and tired of these guys who think they're worth X instead of Y.
Here's my sizzle reel.
And Aaron Rodgers acts like he can walk into anybody in the world and say, this is what I want. You better meet my demands.
I don't know if he's done that recently. He just said he'd play for $10 million.
He's only going to play a certain amount of night games.
He never said that. That's a speculation from Pro Football Talk. That's not him. It may be him, but it's not him on the record. We come back with Pressure Cooker next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
We're the girthiest radio station in the history of radio. Uncomfortably girthy. This promo is uncomfortable. The Fan, Ohio's girth destination.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. This month of May is a fantastic time to win at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Win a pair of tickets to the Memorial Tournament by visiting at Hollywood Columbus on social media and follow the steps for a chance to win. You've got a chance every Tuesday for second chance drawings. You can cash in on your losing wagers. 5 winners every Tuesday get $100 pen cash. Plus, all-you-can-eat ribs Tuesdays and Thursdays in May, only at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook inside Hollywood Casino Columbus. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Chargers sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Hey, it's Anthony from my friends at the Honda dealership here in Central Ohio, Germain Honda of Dublin. You know the brand, you know the reliability and the styling. Now get to know the deals. Grab a new 25 Honda HR-V, a 25 Accord SE, or even a 25 CR-V LX all-wheel drive for 0% up to 36 months. Talk to my man Rich. Get the right vehicle, the right deal at the right dealer. Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road, just south of 270.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone for Window Nation. May is officially here, and so are the rising temperatures. Before you know it, you're going to be wondering what else you can do to keep cool during the dog days of summer. Beat the heat and keep the AC in your home with Window Nation's energy-efficient vinyl windows. During their semi-annual sale, you'll get 60% off and a free entry door when you purchase a house full of windows. Plus, no money down, no interest, and no monthly payments until 2027. That's a whole lot of savings and a super smart investment, especially when prices are rising. So how exactly does Window Nation keep the prices affordable? Well, they work directly with top window manufacturers in the country, which means all their windows are assembled right here in the USA. Plus, their windows come with a lifetime warranty, so you'll keep saving long into the future. Window Nation's semi-annual sale ends soon, so don't miss your chance to get 60% off. Plus, a free entry door when you purchase a house full of windows. And you pay nothing until 2027. Schedule your estimate right now at 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. That's windownation.com.
The Buckeye Show.
Hi, it's Brandon Beam here. Talk Buckeyes with me starting Monday on The Buckeye Show. Can the Buckeyes repeat? Who's going to be the starting quarterback this fall? Find out on The Buckeye Show with me, Brandon Beam, weeknights at 6 on The Fan.
This is the sound of a popular American motorcycle. It's the sound of freedom, the open road, really good times. And this is what it sounds like with a drunk guy in it. How do you like the sound of that? Cops are cracking down on drunk motorcycle riders. If you ride drunk, you will get caught and you will get arrested. Drunk riding. Over the limit, under arrest. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Transportation.
Have you ever told a friend?
Oh, I'm fine.
When you really felt...
just so overwhelmed.
Or sent a text?
Can't sleep. Are you awake?
When you couldn't find the words to say?
I'm scared to be alone with my thoughts right now.
Then this is your sign to reach out to the 988 Lifeline for 24/7 free confidential support. You don't have to hide how you feel. Text, call, or chat anytime.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Hey there, Central Ohio. I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Michael Behrens with your latest forecast. Maybe a light jacket in the afternoon. Plenty of sunshine with temperatures that only reach a high in the 60s today. We'll warm up to the 70s with sunshine for Saturday and upper 70s with more sunshine for your Mother's Day. Rain chance to stay away until next week. That's your latest 10 Weather Impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present Under Pressure.
All righty. I've been under pressure for about an hour and 20 minutes. All right, I'll continue to be. All right, I think this one's pretty easy. It's clearly on the Cavs, but I think it goes deeper than that. Can we really expect Jared Allen to be this great again? Double-double, hitting every one of his free throws. Now, this is a big if, and it sounds like maybe they're going to go. No Evan Mobley, Darius Garland, DeAndre Hunter. All right, if that would happen again, that falls right on Allen. 6'9", 245 out of Texas. He had 12 rebounds last game. That led all players for either team. He had 3 blocks as well. And you try to get all that again with no help. He's going to be on fumes. 68 minutes in 2 games. Something to relieve him would be helpful. There's no way you're counting on Tristan Thompson anymore. So I think that if Mobley misses some time here, I don't know how much you're going to get by with Dean Wade. If DeAndre Hunter can't go, I mean, it's trouble. So can't trade for anybody now. So I'm going to put it on Allen, not knowing if those guys are going.
All right. I'm putting the sport of college football in the pressure cooker. And I think this next 60 days is going to be one of the most deciding 60 days in college football history. One, there's all these reports about the college football playoff bracket changing. We're going to talk about that in the next block. You can only change it so many times before you got to lock in here and find the right thing. You can't keep switching it every year. Teams are, Ryan Day just said he really likes the 10-day window between games. So try to keep that. I understand it's all trial and error, but at some point, we can't be talking about a new world every offseason. The Michigan is reportedly the 6th and 7th. We're gonna learn a little bit more about this sign stealing and the implications of it.
Yes, Sharon being suspended, probably more, but still being able to probably be at practice, talk to his team, probably hang out somewhere with some listening and talking device.
Do they take any wins away? That's going to be a massive deciding factor in college football.
For them, it would be.
Yes. Now, my number 3 is this house case and getting it all settled. And they've got a chance here to lock down the world of NIL and figure this out for once and for all. And that's huge. It's in the next 60 days, it's the college football offseason, and yet it feels like it's going to be the most interesting 60 days in college football history.
All right, I'm going to go to the golf course, Philadelphia, Truist Championship. I thought Ricky Fowler, and I like Ricky, I thought he was gifted an invite to play next weekend in the PGA Championship. He's dropped to 125 in the world, missed the Masters, played 9 events this year, no top 10s, needed a sponsor exemption to play this weekend in Philly. Guess what he did? He answered the pressure immediately with a 63 in round 1. He's gone. He's 2 under today, I see. So he is now 9 under. And he's winless since summer of 23. So for anyone who thinks he can't win, remember that there was an article in SI about 10 years ago that called him the most overrated player on the tour. And guess what he did right after that came out? He won. He won the Players at TPC Sawgrass. Let's see if this noise fuels Ricky this week and into the next major. I think he's already answering it. Let's see if he can run through the tape here. Ricky. Pressure cooker.
I'm putting, and this isn't good for Cavs fans, but I'm putting home fans in the pressure cooker. The home court advantage is supposed to matter.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a thing. It has meant nothing in the NBA playoffs so far. Certainly in the Eastern Conference. It didn't mean anything in the Western Conference for the first 2 games. These home fans, you got to make an impact. You can't have 20-point comebacks on your home court, Boston. What are we doing in back-to-back games? I mean, that can't happen.
You're taking the players off the hook?
I'm taking it. It has nothing to do with the players. What happens on the court has nothing to do with the players. It all comes down to how loud the fans yell. No, a home court advantage is what you play for all year long. It's what you write on the whiteboard. The final 20 games. Let's go get it, gentlemen. And it hasn't mattered because the fans are not wearing all the T-shirts. They put the T-shirt on your chair so you'll wear it.
They're having these massive leads, and everyone is just getting complacent. The fans, players included. Except
you
for the road
can't
team.
sit down. I watched a Game 7 NHL hockey, double overtime. They hadn't sat down once. Their knees were buckling, but they were standing.
What about the guy that's behind you?
Get taller.
Screw him. I'll put Jimmy Butler in. Playoff Jimmy. Brilliant game 1. Last night's outing was a lot tougher. Listen, he's the star. Curry got hurt. Focus shifts to him. He's got to carry the team. He's got to deliver again. I mean, 121 mil. I should be able to expect this. I know he says I don't have a burden or an expectation. I just play basketball the right way. And he is right. I'm not telling him to go in there and just be selfish. But without Curry, the Warriors have to lean on him. And he's the guy to lean on. And he's shown time and time again that he's big in big moments. So I think the Heat's on here. When he was with Miami, he carried a roster that was worse than this. So I feel like that playoff Jimmy needs to rise up. Sorry if he feels that's more pressure.
This is my last pressure cooker.
If you'd like one, yes.
I'm putting 5-minute crafts in the pressure cooker. You know what 5-minute crafts are?
Oh.
There are those videos that pop up on your phone all the time, and they say, look at this 5-minute craft that you can do. And then it makes no sense. They used to be so good. It's like, hey, turn a styrofoam cup into a cell phone, and let me show you how. And it's 5 minutes of nonsense. And they show up on my feed all the time. If you're going to make a 5-minute craft, 1, make it 5 minutes, and 2, make it handy. Here's my soapbox.
You're their handy man.
I'm their handy man. I'm tired of 5-minute crafts.
You fix broken hearts.
I fix, but you know,
I know.
It's like, hey, is your radio broken in your car? Here's a 5-minute craft to fix your radio, and then by the end of it, your whole radio is made out of Play-Doh. Like I have had enough.
So the 5-minute craft you're talking about is different than the 5 minutes of crap that we'll do today at some point, or maybe already have.
3 hours of crap is what I call this.
I feel like, I know, put the Cavs in the pressure cooker. It just feels like Garland's going. They're all going to try to go tonight. I'm not giving Stephen A. the pep talk. If he takes credit for this, if Garland goes tonight, which I think he will, if he takes credit for this call, that he's the one that sparked it and told him to limp out there and just,
He must watch the show.
Win just one.
That was ridiculous.
Was that your Stephen A.?
No, I kind of just.
I'm not really sure where that was. I wasn't sure what he was.
Was a higher octave.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's got all kinds of octaves in his repertoire.
Speaking of college football, take a break here. Ari Wasserman on 3 coming up next. We'll ask him. 16 teams on the way, and your summer of madness.
Summer of love.
When it comes to college football. That's in 2 minutes. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think you could beat lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text EDGE to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text EDGE to 42424. That's EDGE to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
I've had a number of surgeries, and frankly, I don't have time to rehab a surgery and an operation at this point in my life. I didn't want to take time off my kids' activities.
That's why former college and pro football player Bobby Carpenter turned to QC Kinetics. We couldn't be happier saving our patients like him from operating rooms and long recoveries.
I've been able to resume like normal activity for me, which is a lot of running. It's a lot of workouts. I've been very, very blessed with how it's been able to hold up.
For so long, patients have accepted surgery as the only solution. But with new technologies, the medical professionals at QC Kinetics use regenerative treatments, your body's own biologics, to help heal and restore knees, hips, shoulders, and backs.
I actually ran into a friend of mine over at our golf course, and he had his knee done. It felt so well. He'd got his shoulder done. He goes, I can't thank you enough. He'd heard the commercial on the air, and so it's feeling great.
Find out how you can avoid surgery and finally get relief. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
You're listening to Rothman and Ice on 97.1 The Fan.
Indeed you are. Love this man's work. For a long time, he continues to churn it out. He's our friend Ari Wasserman, covering college football now at On3 Sports. And he's nice enough to give us a few minutes here on the Brian Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Ari, my man, how you feeling?
Hey, good, Anthony. How are you, man? Good to hear from you.
Good, brother. What's on your agenda right now? What do you think is the most pressing thing going on in college football? Is it NIL? Is it the tweaking of the playoff and seed them as they rank them? Is it the expanding of the playoff again? What's on the top of your agenda this summer?
What, are we not going to talk about Bill Belichick's girlfriend?
Yes,
right now?
exactly.
That's
true.
I don't know. That's
you're right.
That I've been reading about all morning, so I don't know if that strikes the.
Hey, if that's it. That's it. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the thing that I think is interesting, and is interesting, is this sport is currently, going through an evolution that's so drastic that, you could combine the changes of the last 3 years and, the previous 100 didn't change as much, and it's all kind of happening at the same time, and the things that are changing don't work together. The playoff expansion and the NIL rules, for instance, those two things are completely independent, but they're both going to work together. Will that work? Like all the things that, you find interesting about college football, I do too. And I'm just very cautiously optimistic and nervous about what they're changing, because we had a really good thing going here for a long time, and it's getting kind of tossed around a little bit. So just kind of hoping it works out for the best and they don't mess up what was a really good thing.
Speaking of really good things, Ari, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. It's Adam King with 10 TV. Ari, do you remember me?
Hey, Adam, what's going on, buddy? Of course I remember you.
Ari, my question, I just put him in the pressure
cooker. At the Rose Bowl, I don't know, I'm not a crazy person.
Well, let's not go that far. In the last segment, I put college football in the pressure cooker because I feel like, as you just said, the changes are so drastic. At some point, they've got to get this figured out. Do you think that this is, is this change to the playoff going to be the final change for a while? They have to lock this in at some point, right?
I mean, they have to do it soon because there's a season coming up in a few months. And, of course, what they do this year is only going to be a one-year thing, and then the following year it's going to be a completely different system. And Ross Dellinger from Yahoo said they're leaning towards 16 teams. And, I think that, my hope is that it'll stop there. I was a keeping it 4 guy. So, going to 16, I think I can wrap my mind around 8 and 12 even now that the sport is becoming, more inclusive in terms of the teams that are able to make a run. I think we saw 2 teams last year that made deep runs in the playoff that otherwise probably in the past wouldn't have been able to do that in the super team era. And that's Penn State and Notre Dame. So, I've come around to the notion that maybe 12 is the right team number, but I think that they'll go to 16 and maybe it'll be like that for a decade. And then when they, what's going to happen, and I couldn't tell you, but I don't think that if I had to bet my life on it, that would be the last expansion of it.
Give me your take on Arch Manning. Ohio State's going to welcome him in as the opener here at the Shoe this year. There's a lot of hype, and there should be. He had some moments in the playoff, but obviously Sark didn't put him in at the big moment. When they got down to the 1 or 2 yard line against Ohio State, he could have put him in there as a piece to try to run it in and tie the game. He doesn't. But the hype seems to be fair. Is it overboard in your mind, or is he being treated unfairly just because of who he's expected to be? What are your expectations?
Anthony, do you know my opinion on this, or are you asking me blindly?
No, I don't know your opinion on this, honestly.
Okay, all right, because you just poked the beehive. So, I actually think that his last name is, hurting him. And I think that people, lose their minds when they hear me say that. But I think that the notion that he has gotten a bunch of unfair praise as a result of his lineage has gone so far that people have overcorrected into doubting him by thinking that because he's a Manning, everything he's earned is because of that only and not because of who he is and his skill set. So I think that when you look around and if you would see the amount of times that he contributed and stepped in when Quinn Ewers was injured last year, his physical measurables, he could throw the ball a mile, he can run 20 miles an hour, has been developing, behind the scenes for a few years. If you would name him Robert Callahan or something, I think that we'd be talking about him even more than we're talking about him. I think people are afraid to talk about him because they don't want to be labeled as a hype, mongerer. I think that the basement for his play is very high this year, especially considering the fact, that he has been developing. He has a very talented offensive mind, guiding him. And, you got to read between the tea leaves here. Texas, Quinn Ewers wasn't welcome back to Texas. Do you think they would have done that if Arch wasn't very good? I think that he's going to be a very, very good player. How good? Is he going to be the best player in college football or the best quarterback we've seen in 10 years? I mean, I can't say that. That's what his recruiting profile promised, but I think he's going to be an excellent quarterback. And if I were to put money on a Heisman, at 8-1, I think that he has a pretty good chance of doing that. So I am more certain of him being good just based on what's around him and all the things I just said than I do other brand new quarterbacks coming into the mix this year. I'm fairly certain he's going to be very good.
No, I'm with you. And honestly, I was more curious than anything because I do think that when you have a name like his and you have the lineage that he has, certainly you're going to get those polarizing views. And I honestly really wanted to get yours on it because I respect it. I wanted to hear what you had to say about it. Now, in contrast, what did you make of the Shedeur Sanders slide?
Oh, man. I'm talking to people in Ohio, so they're really keyed in on this, right? The Browns got him.
Right.
I thought that Shedeur Sanders fell further than his talent should have had him fall, and I understand that he probably fell that far because he is not good enough to leverage a circus over his skill set. So I was surprised he fell to where he fell. I was even more surprised by the Browns drafting him after, taking Dylan Gabriel in the third round, which I think might have been the worst pick of the draft. I guess we'll see what happens in the future. But it was a great pick for the Browns there if he is a first round, not a first round, but a starter caliber player. If you take that guy in the fifth round because his dad's Dion, I think he did a good job. Now, I don't know, I was all about the Johnny Manziel thing, and, I'm always talent and upside over off-the-field drama guy myself. I don't know, like in 2 weeks, I'm going to be talking about something like his dad doesn't want him to do this, or he's mad that he didn't get the first-team reps, or I don't know what's going to happen there. But from a talent standpoint, I think the Browns got a better player than the spot that they got him at, and I'm very curious to see how it pans out. And, that Cleveland team up north from you guys is gone 25 years now since it's come back, 26 years, and hasn't had a quarterback since it began. And, I don't know that I would have I don't know. I'm not an NFL GM, but they need to find a quarterback somehow. So I guess if drafting 2 is their attempt to do it until next year, then good for them. I think they got good value there if he can keep his head on straight.
All right. I'll leave you with this, Ari. Where do we land on the Bill Belichick drama in North Carolina? That is the most important thing. Should this be as big of a deal as it is? And what did you think of the interview a couple weeks ago?
So I am the type of person who doesn't care about TMZ and all that stuff. Like it kind of like confuses me why people care like who a celebrity is dating or what their outfit they're wearing is in LA at the shopping center in Malibu. Like I've never understood how that even existed, and I certainly don't understand why people care about the royal family. So like you're talking to somebody who has zero interest in like tabloid celebrity gossip type stuff. And I find this to be fascinating because of the college football aspect of it. And like I will say this, I'm not in North Carolina. I've never met Jordan Hudson. I've never spoken to Bill Belichick. It's very weird. Like the whole thing is very, very weird. And I'm not even talking about the age gap. I'm talking about the real estate acquisition and some of the reports that have come out about her overstepping her bounds in a football building. Like anybody has the right to love whoever they want. Who am I to tell somebody who they can love or what relationship they want to be in? But from a football aspect, the fact that it's becoming uncomfortable and a distraction for the team, 3 months after he got hired, I think is really, really weird. And I also think too that I'd love to understand, how the woman came into $10 million of real estate. Like all those things kind of, keep me up. I think it's interesting, and it's mostly interesting because of the Bill Belichick aspect. I don't care about her. I care about what it means for a coach in college football and one of the greatest coaches of all time.
Well, we're going to find out what impact he has on that program and whether the distraction is good or bad because
I'm at the point now where I hope he makes it to the season. Though.
Right.
Like, am I the only one that's like kind of like on high alert of this is going to explode before August?
I mean, on the very surface, before all this nuttiness, I was actually surprised he took the job.
It didn't make a lot of sense to me.
He'd hang on to break Shula's record, and that would be the end. And for him to do this, I guess it was admirable in a way because he was so close to Shula, but. Because you talk about his dad. Wasn't his dad at North Carolina years and years ago, and maybe kind of bookend his coaching career in a way for him. And then you add her to the mix, and it all has boiled over. But I'll leave you with this. Stars, they're just like us, Ari. They really are.
Yeah. I mean, I guess. I don't know. All I know for sure is, and I think I'm like a hard 6. I don't know that I'm anything special. But if I were a person who is worth $70 million, there isn't a human being on earth that would get 15 or 17% of my net worth within months of dating. So I don't know what's going on there. It's very atypical behavior. I don't even know. Maybe we'll find out it was her money to begin with. I have no idea, but all I know for sure is if she acquired that money and those properties as a result of her relationship with Bill Belichick, that is not normal behavior, and there might be something else going on there, and there's a reason why all these reporters are digging around it now. So I can't wait to see where we are in July with all this stuff. It's crazy.
I want you to jump in and dig along with them.
Biggest takeaway, Ari's not worth $80 million.
I guess we'll start with the sex museum that her mother owns, and then we'll go from there.
Absolutely. Yes, start there. All right, my man. Wonderful to connect again. Have a great weekend. I hope we talk again soon.
All right. Anytime you guys need me, take care.
Thanks, Ari.
You got it. Ari Wasserman.
He
on
dropped
3 Sports.
Dropped a Robert Callahan in there?
Well, if there was a guy named Robert Callahan, I would be calling him Bullet Bob Callahan, just to hype him up a little bit.
Big Tom Callahan.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Market guaranteed.
Market guaranteed. Tommy Boy's middle name was R. Do you know that? It was Tommy R. Callahan.
Said he was a hard 6.
That's quite the statement.
I think that made you a soft 6.
Hey-o!
All right, we come back with a Buckeye Bulletin, and a Buckeye has signed his first contract. We'll tell you who and where and what it is. Next, Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
We're known for 3 things: games, conversation, and common man yelling about things only he cares about. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
We can come the day you call us.
We're 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point.
Brian, I've been meaning to ask you something.
Okay, ask away.
Sometimes when we're talking, I hear a little sparkling sound.
Is it when one of us says, all you have to do is point?
There it is. Did you hear that?
That's the sound of magic happening.
Magic? Like we can come the day you call us? Wow.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
At Ohio Mulch, we're making it easy to refresh your yard just in time for Mother's Day. Right now, get 5 bags of mulch or soil for only $10.95. Unbeatable value to kick off your spring projects. Buy 3, get 1 free on 1.5 cubic feet of black mulch. Perfect for that clean, polished look. That's what I get for my yard. Want a wow mom? Give her a gift of a beautiful yard she'll love. Stop in this weekend for exclusive Mother's Day savings only at Ohio Mulch.
Ohio Mulch, Landscape Supply.
Hi, this is Bob Masheter from Dick Masheter Ford. Thank you to all of Central Ohio as we head towards 60 years of doing business in the Buckeye State. Dad opened up in 1967 simply trying to offer a better way to buy a car, and we've been working ever since to serve our neighbors. We have served you through wars, recessions, and even a Chinese virus. Here is to serving you and your kids and your grandkids for the next 60 years, except on Sundays when we're closed, because it's the right thing to do. Still 24/7 at masheterford.net. Thanks.
Spring showers revealing roofing or siding issues? Trust the pros at Newman Roofing for expert care, white glove service, and quality you can count on. Schedule your estimate today and take advantage of special financing options. Call 614-NEW-ROOF or visit newmanroofing.com today.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Join me and Tito on Monday for the new Morning Juice. Where can you find it? Live on the Fan's YouTube channel and the Fan app each morning at 6, or ask your smart speaker to stream us. Plus, you can watch the show on the 10TV Plus app at 10 a.m. and on demand.
Switching to Progressive is a game-winning call. And that reminds us of other game-winning calls in the history of sports.
It was a doubleheader in August and really hot inside the concession stand. So instead of waiting for people to come to me, I figured I'd walk around yelling, "Hot dogs here!" And that's how I became the first hot dog vendor in sports.
Okay, not really a game-winning call, but it was a good call. You can make one too. Switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
The Fan Poll is brought to you by Caster Connection. Visit CasterConnection.com to shop online or to work with our Caster Solution specialists.
Rothman and Ice present Buckeye Bulletin.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Don't go through another air conditioner breakdown. For fast, friendly service, call the experts at Logan Services now for a free estimate and next day air installation.
All right, Buckeye Bulletin time. Emeka Egbuka has signed his deal. 4 years, $18.1 million. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, selected number 19 overall. So then you start to ask yourself, who's going to be negatively affected by this? And Jalen McMillan could be. It's going to be interesting to see where he is. He finished his rookie season, 37 catches, 8 touchdowns. It was a great season for a rookie.
And you know what?
And he missed some games. He was injured.
What's interesting there is I also think...
But why would they take a receiver in the first round? I thought that was a surprise pick.
I did too. My biggest takeaway, we did a thing a couple days ago, are maybe not the greatest fit. I thought it's not a great fit for Emeka.
Well, Godwin the ankle, it might not come back. You think it's not a fit in what way?
I think 4 years from now, 3 years from now, it'll be a great fit, but I think there are a lot of teams out there he could have gone to and immediately been the guy. Or one, two.
I had him going to the Packers.
The guy, if he's in Green Bay. Here you've got Jalen McMillan, you've got Godwin, you've got Mike Evans, and then you take a guy, and I know he was a 7th round pick, but then they take Tez Johnson in the 7th round. I mean, Tez Johnson was a star receiver. Listen, I think Emeka is undoubtedly the best receiver in this draft class, and I think he is deserving of being a wide receiver 1. I'm just surprised that he's going to have to go somewhere where he may not, week 1, be on the field.
We'll see. I mean, yeah, I agree with that. Maybe right away. I mean, now Baker's got so many targets this year, which they love. You got to help him out as much as possible because McMillan and Egbuka are not just competing with Evans and Godwin. They're kind of competing with each other, is my point. And so here we are. I just think you have to know when you're Tampa that Evans and Godwin are they've missed time with injuries. It's a little bit of volume shooting here because you know you're going to need them. You brought up the fact you think this is going to be the summer of college football. A 16-team college football playoff bracket is now gaining support by the Big Ten and the SEC. You heard Ari mention it by Ross Dellinger of Yahoo Sports. And the bids would be 4 in the SEC, 4 Big, 2 ACC, 2 Big 12, 1 Group of 6, 3 at large. And then the Big Ten and SEC could have playing games. 3 versus 6, 4 versus 5. Listen, I'm not here to tell you that this does really anything for me. If you're going to be at an expanded playoff, then I guess we're kind of at the point where do we really think any of those teams are going to be able to come from the back end and win? I said early last week that, Adam, the bracket last year was so slanted towards the underdog, and it didn't help them at all. Arizona State, Boise, like they had a leg up in this thing.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yes, the title.
Yes, I see what you're saying. The underdog. I thought you meant seeding wise. You mean the underdog in the idea that Boise did get a bye, that Arizona State was set up with
didn't deserve it.
No, I completely agree in that regard.
And it still didn't help them.
But I will say this: I don't understand why we're taking all of this and saying we need 16 teams, because I loved the bracket last year. I just think you need to adjust the seeding. Just give the top 4 teams the bye, and let's all call it a day. And people complained, well, the bye, they were rusty or this, that, and the other. Come on.
Well, it's still committee driven. So you don't really have the ability to just say what they are. I mean, the committee's still ranking them. So we have to go that way. I'm with you.
How do I get on this committee? Who do I write a letter to?
How do you get committed? I know how you can get committed. I don't know how you get on a committee.
College football playoff address. I'm going to write him a letter. I'm telling him that I can help out if they'd like.
You've got to be an AD, apparently.
Well, I could be. I can just be an AK and still get in there.
Selection committee roster.
John Carpenter, Irvine, Texas. That's where I'm going. I'm packing up my stuff and I'm headed to Irvine, Texas.
It looks like, first of all, you're probably going to have to be at least 60.
Are you looking at the committee?
I feel like that's probably the cutoff. I could be wrong. There's probably some 50s in there, but that's probably the first way to get aboard.
You hate to see it. I gotta wait another 10 years.
I don't really care. I'm looking at the rankings from. I'll pull up the rankings from last year and see who would have gotten in. Let's go to the final week. And let's add, how many more teams are we adding? We're adding 2. What are we adding?
We're adding 4 more teams.
All right. So Bama would have been there.
Yeah. Which they could have made
the U
headway.
The U would have been there.
Yeah.
And the other 2 would have been South Carolina, Ole Miss.
South Carolina, Ole Miss. Those are viable teams.
Yeah.
Now I have this question for you, and I raised this before we even expanded. Where are the opt-outs going to go if you're on a team like one of those teams? You're a first-round potential draft pick on South Carolina, Ole Miss, the U, Bama, Clemson, you name it. And you get seeded 15th.
People won't opt out.
You doing it?
No.
You think you got a team that can win a title?
I think.
You know what I think is going to happen? They'll play for more cash. You need me?
We saw that this year.
Well, what, with Nico?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he didn't get more to play against Ohio State, did he? I think he asked for more. Did he?
I don't know, but he's negotiating, so he's at least trying.
I mean, you got to try, Why not try? There is no try, only do. I'll say this. I don't really think there will ever be opt-outs in the playoff. I don't. I mean, there may be like an outlier, but I don't think it'll ever be a consensus thing to opt out. I think these guys play too much football throughout the season, and there's too much confidence that if you put us in, we can go win, that I think these guys will. I mean, it doesn't happen in March Madness. You don't see guys get to March Madness and say, you know what, I'm opting out. They would just opt out earlier. Why opt out?
Basketball's got a little lesser chance for bad injury. A little bit.
I think that you are trying to destroy the sport that I love, and I won't stand for it.
I'm not trying to do anything.
You're on here, and you're trying to convince these players to ask for more money. And what did I just say about negotiations, okay? Right. I'm so sick of this.
I wish there was a world where it was the love of the game.
It is.
And it was as pure.
I have seen the movie, If You Build It, They Will Come. That's the love of the game right there.
No, that's true. It was.
That's actually not the movie The Love of the Game, but you know what I mean.
It's Field of Dreams.
Yes, but
the love of the game is Kevin Costner.
Yeah, Love of the Game's great. When he throws the perfect game and she's at the airport. It's a good movie. Good movie. Everyone should watch.
It's a decent. I will tell you why it's a good movie.
Oh no!
Look where you started.
It's basically how I judge mostly sports movies is if the actual sports in the movie is fairly realistic. And I like the way they did it with him the highlights of him pitching, the special effects were really good.
Not like the Kurt Warner movie where they had Ray Lewis played by a 185-pound guy.
The thing I love for the
Where
love
they
of
had
the
an
game,
eyeball rolling on the field on any given Sunday or whatever.
hey, could happen.
I don't think it's ever happened.
The most unlikely part is that the Tigers threw a perfect game. That's the only part of that I don't believe.
Yeah. Against the Yanks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
With John C. Reilly as a catcher.
As the catcher.
Yeah. Jim Joyce is the first base umpire.
All right, that's our Buckeye Bulletin for today.
As we all expected, Buckeye Bulletin would turn in for the love of the game. We knew that's how that would happen.
We're going to come back, top of the hour, Sports Center update, and get into whether a former legendary player actually paid off on a bet that he created. That's next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Buckeye games have been airing on WBNS since before you were born and before your parents were born and before Abraham Lincoln was born. Trust me. Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan.
Working your way through that honey-do list? That means more flushes, more showers, more fiddling with the thermostat. Trust the pros at the Waterworks with your plumbing and drain cleanings and repairs and all your heating and cooling needs. Our certified pros can repair or replace your furnace or air conditioner. Clogs? Call the Waterworks. Drain cleaning? Call the Waterworks. Plumbing issues? Call the Waterworks. Furnace repairs? Call the Waterworks. The Waterworks, trusted neighborhood plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling experts.
This Mother's Day, be direct. Tell Mom she shines without saying a word. At Diamonds Direct, we've curated a meaningful collection of timeless gifts for every budget, from birthstone rings and stackables to diamond pendants, pearls, and stunning earrings. So here's to Mom for her love, her strength, and always putting others first. This year, she deserves a gift that lasts a lifetime. And that's our specialty. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Attention kingdom-seeking business professionals, entrepreneurs, and investors in Columbus. Are you ready to experience a life-changing event that will elevate your faith, finances, and future in 2025? Then you won't want to miss this. Join us for Life Search, featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center for an extraordinary one-day event that will empower you to transform every area of your life through the power of faith. Prepare to be inspired by an incredible lineup of champions, including college football champions Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs, three-time national champion head coach Urban Meyer, sportscaster Kirk Herbstreit, two-time national football champion Tim Tebow, and more. These champions have experienced firsthand how faith transforms lives, and they'll be joining Life Search to share their powerful stories and insights on how to integrate faith into your business, finances, and every aspect of your journey. Seats are selling fast to this unforgettable event, so don't wait. Head to lifesearch.com now to secure your tickets before they're gone. Life Search featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center. Don't miss out. Your transformation begins here. Visit lifesearch.com today.
Hey folks, Austin Ward here with an opportunity to lose 40 by the 4th. Yes, pounds, and why not? I dropped my first 40 in just 8 weeks. It was easy, and it will be easy for you too. Take the medication-free and lasting approach. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Mother's Day is Sunday, May 11th. Just like Mom to the Rescue, Oakland Nursery has their annual flat sale with huge savings worthy of Mom. Select flats of marigolds, begonias, petunias, and impatiens, normally $19.99, now just $15.99 during this huge sale. 32 plants per flat, all for just $15.99, and all for Mom. Oakland Nursery is 35 acres of outdoor shopping and pure gardening pleasure. For 85 years, Central Ohio moms have looked forward to flowering Mother's Day gifts from Oakland Nursery.
Social media is fun, but it's not the whole picture. Comparing yourself to what you see online can be stressful. For more tips on reducing stress, go to mha.ohio.gov/check-in. A message from the Ohio Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. I know firsthand what it's like to battle through joint pain. After years of the hard hits and the wear and tear on the field, I thought pain, it was just going to be something I had to live with. Let me tell you, that's no longer the case thanks to QC Kinetics. For over 8 years, QC Kinetics has been leading the charge nationwide in non-surgical joint pain relief, helping over 50,000 patients get back to doing what they love, pain-free. Whether it's your knees, back, hips, shoulders, you pick it. If joint pain's been slowing you down, you need to hear about what Dr. Aaron Walkoff and his team in Columbus are doing. They're using cutting-edge regenerative medicine, natural biologic treatments with powerful healing properties to repair and restore damaged joint tissue. No surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. Just real results. The kind of treatment I wish I had access to during my playing days, and now you do. Imagine this summer playing around a golf, chasing the kids, and just enjoying a walk without the pain. Go to qckinetics.com/Columbus or call 380-228-4544. They now have offices in Grove City and Canal Winchester.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN. Are you ready for the NFL season? The schedule release is coming, and we know the best place to get your tickets this year. My friends at Vivid Seats. They're seriously legit, and you earn rewards on every purchase. That's basically free football games. When that schedule hits, don't wait around. For the best selection and all the great deals, head to vividseats.com or download the app and lock in your game days now.
Every great team has its core players, but when the season gets tough, adding the right free agent can make all the difference. The same goes for business. At Robert Half, we found that 67% of companies surveyed plan to increase their use of contract talent to handle workload peaks and backlogged projects. With Robert Half's specialized recruiters' experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. The Cleveland Cavaliers trail the Indiana Pacers 2-0 in their Eastern Conference semifinal. Game 3 tonight over in Indy at 7:30. Head coach Kenny Atkinson has said that Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, and DeAndre Hunter all questionable. Also in the NBA this evening, the Nuggets host the Thunder at 10. Stanley Cup playoffs, Florida hosting Toronto at 7, and St. Louis heads to Winnipeg at 9:30. After an off day yesterday, the Cleveland Guardians back at Progressive Field tonight hosting the Philadelphia Phillies. First pitch is at 7:10. The Cincinnati Reds in Houston starting a series with the Astros at 8:10. You can hear that right here on The Fan beginning at 8 after the Buckeye show. At 7 over on ESPN Columbus, the Buckeye baseball team playing Northwestern at Wrigley Field. RCD RV's open house is going on right now through tomorrow, and they have over 650 RVs in stock. Visit RCD in Delaware, Heath, and Pataskala.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and Ice feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Low T Center. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
All right, final hour of the program, Rothman and Ice. Adam King, 10 TV, sitting in today. Jensen Lewis coming up at 2:30.
Doesn't have to be the final hour. We can just keep going.
Guy comes back into the studio here with a couple of pieces of pizza.
Doesn't sound right.
I look at him and go, where'd you get that? In the newsroom. Oh. Thanks.
You didn't bring me any of your lunch. Would you heated up something delicious? I smelled it.
Frozen dinner. We weren't going to share that.
You know what?
And you didn't bring us a Starbucks.
I would have shared a frozen dinner with you. Drawn a line right down the middle. I would have had half. You would have had.
Guy brings in 2 pieces of pizza in here and just starts eating it.
I'm a hungry man.
Can you believe this, man?
What's going on?
A hungry man.
How do you handle a hungry man? A manhandler.
And no wonder he's so comfortable hanging out here for even more hours after this show. The way he showed up in the over 11:49.
Yeah, there were no special treats here today.
There's always special treats here.
I didn't see any donuts or cake.
I gained
last morning juice. I didn't. Where was there a party in there today that I missed?
No, you know what? That's kind of interesting. I'm surprised that there wasn't any sort of, well, I mean,
didn't see any leftovers.
Schlegel and it's Bobby Carpenter, I guess I shouldn't be so surprised that there wasn't.
I didn't see anybody springing for any big eats there.
Beamer's losing a bunch of weight with the Awaken 180, so
he would have gotten off that diet today.
They got,
I mean, if there
cheat
was
meal.
Yeah, I mean, if there was a day to do it, who knows? He might go all the way now. Just say, hey, it's fun while it lasted.
Fun while it lasted. Let's dive in.
Yeah, just lean back in. Just yo-yo this thing.
No.
I mean,
it could be like Randy Jackson on American Idol.
Fat, you're thin, you're fat. Pick a body and go with it. I mean, it doesn't matter. This is a great little story here.
It doesn't matter.
It's safe to say that Paul Pierce regrets this decision.
Yeah, I would agree.
Now, this has been done for years. This was done a lot, I think, pre-internet.
Okay.
When you'd get like music DJs doing shows from up on a billboard, or I'll do my show from a billboard or at the top of a building outside until the team wins again. That kind of stuff, right? And they would do it, and maybe they even get a charity associated with it, right? And it become kind of a real PR stunt in a way. It doesn't mean they weren't doing it. They were.
Did you do one from the top? That's what it sounds like.
No, I haven't done one.
Okay.
No. I might be willing.
All right, continue.
Anyway, Paul Pierce. You know who Paul Pierce is.
Old Paul Pierce.
That didn't sound like you really knew who he was, but I'm not really. I don't know
the man for the Celtics. Yeah,
okay. All right.
I know who Paul
Just
Pierce
checking.
is. The man who helped with the first real big three in the NBA win a conference.
Where'd he go to college?
I was about to ask him that. Come on.
Connecticut.
No.
Oh, wait.
Try again?
Wait, yes. Marquette.
No.
Oh,
Strike two.
That's Dwayne
Middle of
Wade.
America.
Strike two.
Middle of America.
Like right in the middle of America.
Oh, now see, you shouldn't have said that. Did he go to Kansas?
He did.
Okay.
I'm playing. There you go.
All right.
Oh, nope.
Oh,
Just kidding.
Uh-huh.
I don't have any audio for you.
So Paul Pierce made a promise before Game 2 of the Celtics and the Knicks. Here it is.
How confident are you? Celtics next tonight.
If the Celtics lose Game 2 at home, I promise you, I'm walking here tomorrow. I'm walking here.
Why you gotta do that?
Wait a minute. I'm walking here 15 miles. I'm walking here.
I don't know. This is your friend.
In my robe.
Get your friends.
No shoes on. Somebody save him. Bare feet.
No.
If what? If the Celtics lose tonight. Oh, my God. Oh, don't do it, Paul. I'm walking. Paul. Not tonight. I'm telling you right now. Take the serious. No, I'm taking this serious. Not tonight. No, wait a minute. No. Ain't no way. In a robe, barefoot.
So you getting up at 5 in the morning?
I'm gonna be up at 3. Right here, though, Joy. Yeah, right here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, walking. Yeah. We gotta. You know what I'm saying? Gotta walk, homie. I guarantee this one. Put the house on this game.
No.
Put the house on.
Put your house. Do not put your house
on it. So you don't think there's an opportunity to? No shot. We lose. There's no way. No chance. Paul.
And you
got a better chance at walking out of the studio and seeing a dinosaur.
First of all, really good line there at the end.
Yeah.
Secondly, he was right for a while. They were up by 20 again.
In the third quarter.
And against the Knicks, though, I wouldn't have done it. I understand where his mind is, and he probably never thought they'd lose. And even worse, he probably never thought he'd have to pay off on it. He just probably didn't. And he didn't really pay off completely, but it's fine. He didn't go barefoot.
Look, you know what's really funny? You say that. I saw this yesterday when it happened, last night, and I thought, okay, he paid off on his bet. That's really impressive. And then I just heard this for the first time, and he said, I won't wear shoes. And my mind went, whoa, you got to wear shoes.
Yeah, that's okay.
You can't be walking.
We have no problem with that. So are we buying that this was a 20-mile walk of shame?
I can
20 miles?
I can confirm to you for sure that he at least got up and was outside at 5 in the morning. Because I saw this during the show yesterday, and this show airs from 12 to 3 here. Factor in the 3-hour time difference. Factor in that I could also see that he was posting this stuff 4 hours ago. So I could tell he was outside walking at that time. Now, was he maybe doing the old, get picked up in the middle of a marathon and then drive however many miles, get dropped off, and then, complete the end of the marathon there? Maybe, but he did post on his Twitter account today, and this is what ties back to the whole Adam King over under 7,500 steps a day thing. He did post a screenshot that he had 33,000 steps yesterday, and I don't think that he would come up with that as a lie. I think that he genuinely looked at that, saw that, and thought that was hilarious, and he's correct.
So 35,000 steps equals 13 miles.
Well, now, see, that's really interesting.
Depending on, I guess,
the size of the shoe.
The size of the person.
Mm-hmm.
The stride. And I guess also, so I went into this steps to miles calculator right now.
That's exactly what I did.
Oh, you have it?
Yeah, I got 33,000 is 16 miles.
Did you have him doing a walk of less than 2 miles an hour or a slow walk of 2?
It didn't allow me to do MPH. 3. It allowed me to do the average length for a male.
Yeah.
Wait, so okay. And yeah, he's not an average male because he's 6'8". Although,
yes, that's.
I think I'm a hard 6.
That's the hard 4 over here is talking. All right, so are we buying that he did the whole thing?
I am. I'm in.
Yes.
He did wear a robe over his clothing.
Yeah. And wear shoes.
And yes, you have to wear shoes.
You can't do that without shoes.
The glass. Yeah, you have to wear shoes. He says, and this is why I think it's totally true. The distance from Pierce's home to the Speak studio is 20.2 miles. That would take him more than 8 hours.
Yeah.
And he looked like he stopped along the way a little bit too. And he writes, I can't believe this. Celtics got me out here like this. I'm really walking out here like this. I got a long walk to go. Now, I don't know if he had to cross. This is what hey, I know you have something that I prepared earlier today, right? TLC. Yeah. I think this is what it sounded like when he finally got to the studio. I think this is what it sounded like.
I really don't care for the way your company left me in the middle of nowhere with keys to a car that isn't there. And I really didn't care to walk down a highway and across a runway to get back here to have you smile at my face. I want a car right now.
That's what it sounded like. That was, I think, his post-game speech for that walk.
And I think rightfully deserved.
A Datsun, a Buick, 4 wheels and a seat. Anything.
Right now.
20 miles.
I got my own where I live. I got 6 hours and 50 minutes from here. I don't even know what kind of stakes I would put on that.
Yeah, but how would you get? You'd have to map it out. You're not going to walk a highway.
This is good. Let me look here.
What are my other options? Other than to walk on the side of the highway.
Some sort of a bike path that you could somehow navigate here?
You'd have to connect a lot of bike paths to make up 14 miles.
Now, you really don't want to be walking 670, man. That place is the Wild Wild West now, all of a sudden.
I will say...
I got Northwest Boulevard to Reed Road.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're doing main streets.
Yeah. The way Apple Maps does it is it finds you walking paths. I've got 9 hours and 6 minutes to get home. It would be 19 miles. Ironically, that's why I was late for work. That's how I got here. Is I left at 3 a.m. and it was close.
You know what? After seeing this and hearing this, I don't think there's anything right now sports related that I would do that for. If I had said right now, if you told me the Vikings are going to win the Super Bowl this year, would I walk home? I don't know. It doesn't sound good.
I would do it.
To have your team win a title?
I may request both. I may ask for Notre Dame and the Pirates. If the Pirates win a World Series, are you
want me to throw the Steelers in there too for you?
Sure. I mean, sure.
But you're not thinking of this in the right way.
I've seen 2 Super Bowls already, though.
But you're not thinking of it in the right way. This isn't about... Paul Pierce didn't say that because he's a diehard Celtics fan, because he loves his team. He said it because he was so confident there was no way they were losing that game.
So maybe he was that confident because he loved him so much.
Yes, but so I think you have to think about it in a regard of like when Ohio State played Northwestern this year at Wrigley. And it was like a slugfest in the beginning. They were getting their footing and everything. And I remember somebody texted me and said like, uh-oh.
Yeah, right.
And I said... I would bet my house that Ohio State is just fine. I would have bet the walk.
You know what I want? You would have walked home to Columbus?
I would have walked from Wrigley to Columbus.
I feel like...
That's actually why I was late today. I was completing that.
The people, when he said in that clip, put your house on it, it'd be great if some people came back to him and said, well, I did. Now can you help me?
Can you help? Sir?
I did what you told me to do. What? We had that guy suing the NFL draft, right?
Oh, yeah, for emotional distress because he
I'm wondering if people are going to sue
Sanders
Paul Pierce now for advice taken. We'll come back. And the spin from North Carolina. They are saying that it's not happening. What is being reported is happening. And you can hear the truck backing up at Carolina. We'll tell you next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
If you consider yourself a Buckeye fan, you've come to the right place. This is your heritage sports talker and home of Ohio State Athletics, The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
This Mother's Day, be direct. Tell Mom she shines without saying a word. At Diamonds Direct, we've curated a meaningful collection of timeless gifts for every budget, from birthstone rings and stackables to diamond pendants, pearls, and stunning earrings. So here's to Mom for her love, her strength, and always putting others first. This year, she deserves a gift that lasts a lifetime. And that's our specialty. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Deal-in days are back at Lindsay Honda. Lock in your deal in May. Save thousands on hundreds of new Hondas. Simply pick your new 2025 Honda and enjoy 0% for up to 60 months. Yes, 0% for up to 60 months on all new 2025 Hondas, including HR-V, Pilot, and Ridgeline.
Cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs. Lindsay's got it, and you're gonna save.
See Lindsay Honda during Deal-in days. See lindsayhonda.com for details.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers. T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Chargers sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone for Window Nation. May is officially here, and so are the rising temperatures. Before you know it, you're going to be wondering what else you can do to keep cool during the dog days of summer. Beat the heat and keep the AC in your home with Window Nation's energy-efficient vinyl windows. During their semi-annual sale, you'll get 60% off and a free entry door when you purchase a house full of windows. Plus, no money down, no interest, and no monthly payments until 2027. That's a whole lot of savings and a super smart investment, especially when prices are rising. So how exactly does Window Nation keep the prices affordable? Well, they work directly with top window manufacturers in the country, which means all their windows are assembled right here in the USA. Plus, their windows come with a lifetime warranty, so you'll keep saving long into the future. Window Nation's semi-annual sale ends soon, so don't miss your chance to get 60% off. Plus, a free entry door when you purchase a house full of windows. And you pay nothing until 2027. Schedule your estimate right now at 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. That's windownation.com.
2 men. One is very white, fat, and bald. The other is not very white at all. Delightfully husky and getting bald. They have a radio show. It's good. T-Bone and Titus.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9 starting May 12th.
The Fan.
Hey there, I'm Brad. I'm about to win the Tuesday Night Bowling League Championship. I'm also a highway worker for the Ohio Department of Transportation. When you move over and slow down, you're not only giving me room to work, you're making sure I can bowl the winning strike with my buddies.
Roadside workers have lives and families, but when they're on the job, they put it all on the line to protect and serve us. Remember, they're not just roadside workers. Thank you for moving over and slowing down.
Brought to you by ODOT, USDOT, NHTSA, and ODPS.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Hey there, Central Ohio. Plenty of sunshine moving back in today, but so are some cooler temperatures. Highs this afternoon that only reach the 60s. Sunshine continues into early Saturday with 30s and 40s kicking off Saturday morning. 70s by the afternoon. Upper 70s and more sunshine for your Mother's Day. That's your latest 10 weather impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present Pre-Snap Reads.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF. Or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, a little Bet365 time, because at Bet365, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary. And they're the official betting partner of the Cleveland Guardians. And this is where we make our sports bets. Bet365. And if you're a new customer, you can get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. And I've been telling you guys about this basketball early payout offer, which is killing it on Bet365, because when your team goes up by 20, it doesn't matter if they lose the game. You win the bet. And I was talking to the folks at Bet365, and they're very happy their customers are winning, but they didn't expect this kind of landslide with these teams going up 20 and losing the game. I was the beneficiary the other night.
You get into a real pickle there. Everybody wins.
Apparently,
That's right.
Paul Pierce is not under the same policy.
Yes, I don't think Bet365 has gone with that slogan yet.
Everybody wins?
I tried that the other day. Everybody wins all the time.
I think that may or may not violate some terms and conditions.
All right, do I lean into Darius Garland? He's got the Sergeant Hulka with the big toe is going to go play. And he's going to see how far he can stick it, to the
Is he officially
to the Pacers.
playing?
Not officially.
Well, so there you go.
But his over-under is 15.5.
So you get in there. If worst case scenario, he doesn't play, your bet's voided. Best case scenario, if he plays, he's going to give it everything. He's not going to play.
But what if he re-aggravates the toe?
Okay, so worst case scenario, he gets in, he re-aggravates the toe in the first quarter, you're out all your money.
How about this?
You have to walk 9 miles.
What if the Cavs are favored by 5 tonight?
Oof. It feels high.
I mean, I know they're desperate. I thought they were desperate in game 2. They had game 2. They're probably the better team if these guys play. If they're available and they go and they know they're down 2-0, but I got to stay away from this game. I cannot bet this game tonight because my brain tells me take the 5 in Indiana. They're at home. They could lose the game in a close one. You still win your bet. And then the other side goes, wow, that's weird. That's a weird line. So Vegas knows they're playing. They would not make Cleveland a 5-point favorite on the road if they weren't playing, if Garland wasn't playing. I don't think they would. So do we bet the Cavs, the Pacers, or Garland, or none?
I think you take Garland because I do think that this guy gets in there and wants to make a point pretty in a big way.
Over 5.5?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry. Over
15.5.
15.5?
You know, the other that I like, and I just want to say this.
Do it.
Bet365 has Ludwig Oberg at the Truist Championship at plus 17.50.
Where is he on the leaderboard right now?
Listen, you're asking the wrong question. Okay?
Is he even playing?
He is playing.
Okay.
And
what question should I be asking?
He's -3 right now. The leader's at -12.
But he's 9 back.
Give him time. I'm telling you.
Where's my boy Morikawa Bell? Where is he on that Bet365 list?
He's -7 in the tournament, and he is plus 1,200. That's not enough.
12-1?
12-1.
And what's your boy Oberg?
175-1.
If he doesn't win, will you walk home?
Yes. I will walk from this studio to the 10 TV studio.
Okay, I like where you're going with it, though, because it's interesting.
Yeah.
You don't have
I wanted to pick somebody in the middle of the pack there that I like. Xander Schauffele also could see him.
Schauffele. Like how you said that.
Xander Schauffele. He's -4. So there you go.
All right. Get after it at Bet365 because...
Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the Bet365 app today. 21 plus only, must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. Offer subject to meeting qualifying criteria.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
I called Maddie.
Rothman, your voice sounds so different.
I said, you do the disclaimer today. You always do it. You have to do it.
I told you, he's sitting on his couch listening to the show.
That's right. He was on the hotline. All right.
Muggsy Leaper commented in the...
Muggsy Bogues?
I don't know who that is, but she commented and asked if my ankles are cold. Because Common Man always talks about how I like to wear short pants. My ankles are nice and toasty.
That seems...
I had to get the chat mentioned one
out
time.
Of context.
I wanted to get the chat mentioned one time because it fires you up.
Bill Belichick's girlfriend, Jordan Hudson, was reportedly banned from the facility.
Jordan was a constant presence during our interview.
over the course of the past few months, there's been a lot of this stuff. But Pablo Torre, on the latest episode of Pablo Finds Out, the show's host reported that Hudson has been banned from the Tar Heels football facility. Citing multiple UNC sources, said the decision was made by members of the university's administration in the wake of the Belichick's viral interview with CBS Sunday Morning. 2 sources at the school tell me there has been a decision that was made last week by the higher-ups. Not just, this is amazing. She's not allowed on the football field. Okay. North Carolina is now out there refuting the story. So the question is not whether they're refuting it or not, whether they're doing it to backpedal. Meaning they weren't sure whether this would get out. Meaning we're going to do almost like silent talk to Bill. It's best if she's probably not around the facility. We'll keep it on the down low. That it got out, and now they have to backtrack. That's my theory.
I just love to imagine the conversation between Bubba Cunningham and Bill Belichick.
I thought you were talking about Bill and Jordan.
Well, no, the North Carolina athletic director. I just like to imagine them sitting there and he says, hey, got to put out a statement. Jordan's upset. They're reporting she can't come into the facility. It's not true. Let's get it out there and make sure people know it's not true. I'm pretty upset. And, Bill Belichick's one who loves confrontation. He loves the TMZ style of things. This is arguably one of the wildest sports stories of the year, and it's happening in real time. Have you seen the video where he's like out on the practice field coaching up, and she like walks up behind him? Can you imagine?
What is Bill Belichick doing?
I'm not sure.
North Carolina has denied the report. While Jordan Hudson is not an employee at the university or Carolina Athletics, she is welcome to the Carolina football facilities. That's their statement.
Hey, just I'm glad that she can read that and know she's welcome.
This feels like, I'll say it again. I bet they talked to Bill. Probably said, let's slow it down a little bit. Just have her not come to the facilities right now. Things are a little hot. Let's just separate personal from football the best we can. The story gets out that they've done this, and now they have to publicly say, no, we didn't say anything.
You know what's crazy? This is 2 straight days where the discussion was the Cubs or the White Sox, the reporting there.
It's officially the White Sox.
It is officially the White Sox, but there was some reporting, and now is Bill Belichick's girlfriend allowed at North Carolina?
Physically banned from showing up.
This is the hard-hitting journalism that I love.
It got Ari all excited.
It did. And
I think I'm like a hard 6.
Exactly.
There you go.
All righty. There's your pre-snap read for today. We come back. My man Jensen Lewis on the guards, the Reds, and how he would pitch to a certain star. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Forever starts with the perfect diamond. Hi, it's Alex Johnson from the Diamond Cellar, and for over 78 years, our family has helped generations of couples celebrate love with brilliance, quality, and unbeatable prices. At Diamond Cellar, bigger diamonds and better prices are our promise to you. Whether you're popping the question or upgrading your sparkle, trust the experts. Because diamonds, they're our forte. Visit us at Diamond Cellar on Sawmill Road or at Easton Town Center and learn more at diamondcellar.com.
Hey, it's Anthony from my friends at the Honda dealership here in Central Ohio, Germain Honda of Dublin. You know the brand, you know the reliability and the styling. Now get to know the deals. Grab a new 25 Honda HR-V, a 25 Accord SE, or even a 25 CR-V LX all-wheel drive for 0% up to 36 months. Talk to my man Rich. Get the right vehicle, the right deal at the right dealer. Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road just south of 270.
Working your way through that honey-do list? That means more flushes, more showers, more fiddling with a thermostat. Trust the pros at the Waterworks with your plumbing and drain cleanings and repairs and all your heating and cooling needs. Our certified pros can repair or replace your furnace or air conditioner. Clogs? Call the Waterworks. Drain cleaning? Call the Waterworks. Plumbing issues? Call the Waterworks. Furnace repairs? Call the Waterworks. The Waterworks, trusted neighborhood plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling experts.
Hey, it's Anthony for Orthopedic One. I'm not invincible anymore. I never was, but I refuse to punt on things I still love to do. That's why over the past several years, when I've had things creep up, like back pain, shoulder issue, elbow problem, I've had it all, I've always chosen Orthopedic One. That's because Orthopedic One is Ohio's largest physician-owned orthopedic practice with 60 physicians in every specialty. Find a physician or location near you at orthopedic1.com. Orthopedic One. This is where you go to get better.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Crowd the plate at your own risk. It's time for some chin music with former big leaguer and president of the Bald is Beautiful fan club, Jensen Lewis.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Don't go through another air conditioner breakdown. For fast, friendly service, call the experts at Logan Services now for a free estimate and next day air installation.
All right, it's that time of the week. Great to hook it up with my good friend, the man, Jensen Lewis, VSiN Sports, MLB Network Radio, and a lot more. Brother, how you feeling?
Everything is good, my man. It is getting to that time of the year where now we get to really kind of get our first deep dive into, what teams are good, what teams need to make some adjustments, and kind of that first litmus test, if you will, for some teams in the contender and pretender department for sure.
All right, let me start with this. How would you approach pitching to Aaron Judge? The start to this season is otherworldly, right, for him. Leads the MLB in hits, WAR, ribbies, every slash line category. And I guess he's hitting about 163% better than league average by OPS plus. So that's crazy. Buster Olney, I heard him on ESPN the other day, called him the best right-handed hitter of all time. Ooh. I think we could have a debate about that. I mean, there was a guy named Henry Aaron who was pretty good as well. Let me ask you how you would approach pitching to him. You get the call. You're running out of the pen. The kid gets on the mound, and he sees Aaron Judge. What's the approach? Nobody on base.
Yeah, I think first and foremost, and I love Buster as a fellow Vandy boy, but you've got to win some World Series. You got to make the routine plays in the outfield in the World Series before we can say you're the best right-handed hitter of all time. The numbers this year and how I'd approach him this year. So at home, and I think I've shared with you stories about pitching there at New Yankee Stadium. If you're pitching to right-handed power because of the way that Judge can beat you that right center gap, a lot more elevated fastballs, I think, and changing eye level more north-south because he still sees spin really well. But if you change the eye level and try and get him off kilter that way, kind of stand him up a little bit with inside heaters and then, maybe go down and away with a good fastball or try and get him to chase. He still has a bit of chase. And so I think that's probably where you're best suited to try and do it. Now, the crazy part, and here's where the rubber meets the road, he's hitting 390 at home. He's hitting better on the road at 413. And I think that's the hard part to digest is that we're used to seeing some of the cheap home runs, some of the cheap slug there because of the dimensions of New Yankee Stadium. But the fact that he's doing it even better and cleaner away from the Bronx, I think is even more indicative of how ridiculous the start has been.
Guards 2.5 back, 7-3 over their last 10. I questioned this last week with you, and maybe we shouldn't question it right now, but because they're winning close games. So I don't know whether you lean into that's their identity and it's a great identity to have, or that will eventually come back to get you. You can't just keep winning one-run games forever. But you go kind of deep dive, like you say, into the weeds a little bit. Lowest hard hit rate in MLB. The rotation ranks 27th in ERA. And they've got a minus 23 run diff on the season. So that's one better than the White Sox. So are you a believer or are you questioning the results right now?
Yeah, I think you have to question the results objectively, AR. And I think we've had this discussion at least a time or two. The rotation metrics are frighteningly bad right now. And I have not seen yet a way, and maybe outside of Tanner Bybee, there really hasn't been anyone that has shown me signs of improvement or reasons to want to be optimistic. Some startling statistics for you. They're dead last in walks per 9, so immense amounts of traffic just in that department. They're 28th in WHIP. They're 27th in ERA. They're 26th in hits per 9, and they're 24th in home runs per 9. AR, it's unsustainable. It will not be something you come back from unless there's drastic change. Now, people will push against it and say, well, look at their record, 22-15. Yes, but over the marathon of the season and knowing what the bullpen has had to encounter from just last year's leverage and already into a workload this year, unless they start getting length and way more swing and miss and lessening the traffic on the base paths in the walk department, I don't think they can do it. And this homestand will definitely be, as we kind of mentioned off the top, one of those great litmus tests for them to really see if they can start to take a step forward.
All right, I lied. I don't want to sell them completely short. Minus 14 run differential. Yeah. White Sox are minus 39, but I am mentioning them in the same sentence, so that may not be good. All right, Reds 3.5 back, 6-4 of their last 10. The minor groin tweak for Hunter Green. Hopefully, won't be a long deal. Their 34 run differential plus 34. Now, when you put up 24 runs in one game, it tends to help that. But you tell me, all around from offense to starting pitching to the bullpen, pretty solid. And but the Hunter Green impact and whether they can kind of weather this and how they'll do it.
Yeah, a great way to start there, because I think that is the focal point of they really dodged a big bullet. And the fact that it's a grade 1, it looks like they're thinking maybe, later May to be able to come back. So to just be a couple of weeks potentially is a massive break that they caught. Rest of the rotation's been really good. Okay, they are. You talk about the stark contrast from the Guardians. The Reds rotation has the lowest WHIP in Major League Baseball. They're number 2 in lowest hits per 9. They're number 3 in lowest walks per 9, and they're 5th in strikeouts per 9. So the rotation is giving them day in and day out an opportunity to win. And you have to love that if you're Terry Francona, Derek Johnson, and the rest of that staff. Here's where I think they're in a great spot to be able to go on a bit of a run here. They're going to start the series against Houston tonight, and they got a real tough customer in Hunter Brown. Hunter Brown might be the best pitcher, at least the starting pitcher in baseball, outside of what Nathan Eovaldi's done, Yoshi Yamamoto. He has been phenomenal. I do think that you get past Hunter Brown, you're in a better spot there with Lance McCullers Jr. Making just his second start on Saturday. Ronel Blanco has had an up-and-down season. Then you get the White Sox. Then you get the Guardians. And I do feel that they can exploit at home that Guardians starting pitching staff, knowing, as you and I well do, if the weather starts to trend in the right direction, we get to mid-May and into June. So overall, 30,000-foot view, telling me the Reds are 3.5 games out and they have yet to hit their stride offensively. Man, oh man, you take that and then some, because the Cubs are going to have a real tough time, I think, weathering the Shota Imanaga injury, losing Justin Steele for the year. You lose your top 2 starting pitchers. The offense has been phenomenal for Chicago, but I think the Reds in a scheduling spot here the next week or two to really take advantage.
Talking to my boy Jensen Lewis, VSiN Live, MLB Network Radio, former Cleveland closer here on Rothman and Ice. All right, I couldn't wait to ask you about this story, because this is a team that's in it, that could do some big things this year, and I'm talking about the Boston Red Sox. So they're 2 back. And then you get to the story about Rafael Devers, who, when they told him to put away his glove, when they moved him, from third base to DH this winter, now he feels like they're going back against their word, asking him to play first base, but it's a need, and it's more of a compliment. Hey, get in there. We need you. And he's like, no, I don't want to do it. Is this a bad look for the team or a bad look for Devers?
To me, I still think it's a bad look for Devers more than the team, because, he comes out and does the full 180 after what we feel like is a bit of parlor politics, between maybe the coaching staff, Alex Cora, Craig Breslow, and saying, listen, we brought in Bregman because we believe we have the pieces now to build around you, knowing that you are as big a reason why we have a chance to compete as anybody. I mean, offensively, he's been ridiculously good. And I wonder if not having to be on his feet and worry about the defense has been a serious boon for him. He's a top 20 hitter right now, AR, in all of Big League Baseball so far this year, outpaced only by Wilyer Abreu, his teammate, and Alex Bregman, his teammate. So the Red Sox have something going here. Oh, by the way, Christian Campbell's going to be in the running for Rookie of the Year. So for me, if I'm in that locker room, like, what the hell is wrong with you, dude? You got paid. It's not like it's a contract year. Slide over there until we can figure it out. And you can always go back to DH, okay? And I think that's the other part of it is if it was sold as like this is a permanent change, that's one thing. But I have to believe, and I was teammates with Craig Breslow back in our Cleveland days, the guy's pretty damn reasonable for how smart he is. Like he gets the picture. He understands what's going on, and I think he also understands the parity of the American League where this is the time to strike. Like they want to get it right so that they can just continue to win series. So unless it was sold as a permanent switch, I can understand where Devers like, hey, man, this is the second or third time this year you've asked me to do something. But if this was this is a little bit more short term to try and get things right so we can figure out, who's going to be our permanent replacement moving forward, then that's a whole nother look. And again, I think that goes back to the player. You got to do what's right for the team in the short term. And if it prolongs itself beyond, maybe 3 weeks, then I guess you would have an argument there knowing what you've already done through spring training.
All right, this will be a quick one. Mobley, Garland, Hunter, all at the shoot-around, I guess, or early practice kind of shoot-around. What are your boys saying? The Cavs are actually a favorite on the road at Indiana tonight, 4.5.
Yeah, and here's what's great, and this is, again, we call this a closing line movement here. I jumped on the Cavaliers money line, minus $1.35 yesterday afternoon. They were a 1.5 favorite when that line opened. At the time you and I have been talking, it's up to 4.5 in some places as far as the spread goes. Money line now to $1.85 favorite. Mm-hmm. So if the prevailing sentiment is what it is, and again, we'll wait to see him take the floor here later tonight. I think, again, this is it. Your season's on the line. No one wants to go down 0-3. No one's come back from it. So it's a must-win tonight, and hopefully those guys, even though banged up in some respects, can take the floor and get on the board.
All right, my man. We'll be watching. Thanks for the visit. Have a great weekend.
Always, buddy. Talk to you next week.
You got it. J. Lou with us on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We come back with Tell the Truth, and it's going to be by committee. You'll hear that next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
All the 10 TV people come over to our side of the building to take a deuce. That should tell you something about how we operate. The Fan.
Sometimes I hear a sparkling sound.
Like when we say, all you have to do is point?
There it is.
That's the sound of magic happening.
Magic like we can come the day you call us? Wow.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Now at White Castle, you can get 12 chicken rings for just $3.99. Tender on the inside, crispy on the outside. Choose from classic or our new Cheddar Blast flavor made with real cheddar cheese. White Castle. Follow your crave. Limited time only at participating castles. Tax not included.
Joining us on this episode are real Spectrum customers, Monique and Greg. We hear your family is a big fan of Spectrum.
Family of 4, we have about 18 devices last time I counted.
2 teams require a lot of speed. Everything they do is online.
There's gaming, there's streaming. Spectrum is perfect for us. I mean, it just seamlessly connects all our devices with lightning speed.
Sounds like Spectrum is really committed to keeping you connected.
It's amazing.
Did you ask about Pick 3 from the Ohio Lottery? Okay, Pick 3 is a daily draw game where you pick 3 individual numbers between 0 and 9 that can be played straight, where numbers must be drawn in an exact order or boxed where they can be drawn in any order. You can win hundreds, and wagers start at only 50 cents. Want to learn more? Okay, go to OhioLottery.com or the Ohio Lottery app. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
Guys, what's up? It's Matty Ice, and I'm here with Wendy's. And if you're looking for your next sandwich love, check out the Cajun Crunch Chicken Sandwich. This sandwich really has me feeling the heat, and it's packed with bold Cajun flavors that add that perfect little kick. Plus, it's topped with crispy onions that give it a satisfying crunch in every single bite. And did I mention this is all on top of Wendy's iconic spicy chicken sandwich? So if you love that, you have to get your hands on this Cajun Crunch Chicken Sandwich before it's gone. For that little extra kick, it's got to be Wendy's. Open until midnight or later.
Newman Roofing, as part of their 2025 Commitment to Community initiative, is proud to partner with 10 TV and The Fan to launch Raise the Roof, honoring local heroes. This week, we salute U.S. Navy veteran Ronald Jordan. For over 25 years, Ronald has served our country and community, flying critical missions, protecting top officials, and keeping our streets safe as a Springfield police officer and homicide detective. With retirement around the corner, he's looking forward to traveling with his wife. Thank you, Ronald, for a lifetime of service.
Summer's just around the corner. Are you ready to hit the road in style? At Germain Toyota, the adventure starts now with the 2025 Toyota Tundra. Rugged, reliable, and built to take on anything summer throws your way. Drive off in a new Tundra with 1.99 APR for 48 months. That's right, low financing, high performance, and a season full of possibilities. Hurry into Germain Toyota. Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road, or online at germaintoyota.net. 1.99 APR for 48 months with approved credit. See dealer for details.
Bobby Carpenter is packing up morning juice and headed to YouTube. Catch Bobby and Tito on the Fan's YouTube page weekday mornings from 6 to 8.
All the fun starts on May 12th.
More Bobby, less commercials. Attack and dominate the Fan.
You had a solid retirement dream. Sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But with an unpredictable economy and the future feeling uncertain, you're wondering if that equity will still be there when you're ready. What if you could bank that equity right now? With Truehold, you can sell your home for its current value, so you can access your equity today. You can bank the cash now and stay in the home you love with an easy standard lease. Truehold even covers property taxes, insurance, and repairs. And since Truehold hands over your equity in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you'd like. Don't let a shifting economy put your hard-earned equity at risk. Visit Truehold.com and receive their competitive offer on your home in just 48 hours, based on its current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's Truehold.com.
All your favorite Fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Tell the truth with Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Window Nation. Now get 60% off and a free entry door with a house of windows. Visit windownation.com.
All right, Tell the Truth, special guest in studio, a man who will be hosting next. My man, Tyvis Powell, the baller from Bedford. And apparently we have dueling Tyvis Powells here because Adam King, who checked out of the last segment because he hates baseball or doesn't know anything about it, or both.
That doesn't sound accurate. Hold on. Whoa.
And now has decided to.
Because the overhit.
What are you doing?
What do you mean? I'm not gonna. He came in here and tried to hijack my To Tell the Truth segment.
I've never.
I'm not gonna allow him to even look at me.
Do I really look like that? I'll tell you what.
It's a picture of you. What do you mean? Do I look like that?
That guy looks just like Denzel Washington's son. Like, I've never seen somebody that looks more like
done. He thinks he's a hard
son.
six. He thinks he's a hard six.
I think I'm like a hard six.
What's the series that Denzel is in? The long run, the
Equalizer?
The Equalizer. I almost said The Exterminator.
Is that the show where Queen Latifah beats up a bunch of dudes?
No, that's
on
the TV show.
Yeah, we're talking about the movie.
That's the TV version, right?
Oh, cool.
Yeah, man.
You have so much to learn and so much to unlearn.
Yeah, my father Denzel sit us down all the time around campfires and tell us all the stories about all his movies that he played in and all the lessons he learned and stuff like that. It's actually pretty cool. Me and my brother John.
Yes.
All right. You read a book by Eli.
All right, this is something that you have hyped or teased or something.
Well,
we have no idea what
I hesitate to use the word hyped because I don't want anyone to think this is going to be the best segment ever. But I think this is interesting, and I think the listeners will too. And I'm glad Tyvis is here so we can get the media side and the player side. Tyvis is not the media side. I can confirm that. But I stumbled across some audio, and there's a local tie here, so it's all good.
Okay.
I stumbled across some audio from Detroit radio because they were upset that Kenny Atkinson won NBA Coach of the Year instead of J.B. Bickerstaff. The Pistons were terrible last year, and they were a playoff team this year. Mm-hmm. And the conversation started as Atkinson versus Bickerstaff, and then it turned into a media versus player and, what are we all doing here type of topic.
What is the point of these awards? Who votes on that, David?
Is this the writers? Or
No, because if it's the writers, that's case in point. Those people don't watch basketball. Oh, they watch the team they cover. They don't watch ball. It's just like Heisman voters. Oh, I do play-by-play for Texas A&M. Right, which means you're only watching A&M football. because you're at A&M games. You don't watch anything else.
So is that a fair criticism of basically every single award system in sports? And here's the tougher part is what is the solution?
Well, I don't. To my knowledge, the coach of the year in the NBA is voted on by guys that do cover the people that do cover the team globally. Like it's sports writers and broadcasters. I'm not naive enough to think that they're watching every single game, but they get an idea of what the hype was, what the rosters are, the injuries. I think they know. The Heisman's different. Heisman, there are 1 million voters, and it's regional because there are regional directors who control the Heisman votes, and they can offer them up to people that they feel are qualified to do it. There's no overarching approval of whether you get one or the regional person that they entrust to do this can offer up Heisman votes. But I don't. What are you asking in general? If these are legit?
Yeah, because, and even here we can say that, and the reason I want to tie this in here is like, is it fair to the players?
Wouldn't there be bias among, if you said the players vote for Coach of the Year or coaches vote for Coach of the Year?
Well, that's my.
Wouldn't there be bias amongst
the
them?
The solution is the hardest part.
Are you arguing right now that nobody can watch all of the NBA and be a perfect voter because people are at certain games and watching and covering those? Is that, real quick, is that what you're thinking?
Well, I'm just pushing buttons over here.
Okay.
But yes.
That's your debate.
He's right.
I'll say this. I think that college football and even college basketball. College. I think college.
College hockey.
College hockey. I think those are, and I would even argue the NFL, are exemptions from the rule. NBA, there's a lot of games going on. There's a lot of blackouts. It's really hard to watch every NBA game.
Yeah.
But on college football Saturday, if you sit in Ohio State's press box, I would say that most of the reporters are watching the Buckeye game, but also have multiple college football games on their monitor, are keeping an eye on the rest of the world. And then you get done with that and you go home and you watch more college football. Same with the NFL. People are watching other NFL games while watching their game. You go home, you watch Red Zone, you watch, you jump around. You can understand more of that.
But isn't covering a sport like an all-day endeavor?
Yes, that's our job. That's what they pay us to do, Cole. I don't know what they're paying you to do, but it's an all-day endeavor. You show up,
push buttons,
you work hard, and you cover things.
Show up 2 minutes before a show.
You know what? You keep going back to that. I
would
to
say,
work.
from a player's aspect, I would say, in the NFL, like that's why you have like ESPYs and things like that, because those are something that players vote on for each other. When you think about the national, like we talk about like Pro Bowls and things like that, it's kind of like a joke because you'll sit there and say, just because he has the name or because he's done it before, like offensive linemen, we don't know nobody on the offense line. We know Quentin Nelson. All right, well, Quentin Nelson got to be good. We know Joe Bitonio. He's got to be good because he's Joe Bitonio. But there ain't nobody sitting there watching them every play because there's so much other things going on. So we say it in the locker room all the time. It's like, he gonna get that just because of his name. Like he ain't done a thing this season, but just because he's done it before or has gotten the recognition, they're gonna give him the award. And typically that's how it works.
Stats. It's also stats too. Now, coach is a little different. But if you're telling me that only 100 people have the privilege of voting on NBA Coach of the Year, I'm going to say that those people do the best to their ability to weigh most things.
And the Heisman example, I think this year's a good example because Cam Scatterbo was like 5th. People didn't care about Arizona State football for like the first 8 weeks of the season.
I would argue differently. I would argue that people saw Cam Scatterbo almost more because their games are on so late. You're up, you're watching football. It's got more of its own slot with the Pac-12 after dark, although I don't know what kind of the Big 12 after dark now. That gives you a chance to see Scatterbo where sometimes in that 8 o'clock slot, you've got 4 giant games going on. It's hard to focus in.
I think that there's more. I would question more the expertise of the voter versus whether they're dedicated enough.
I agree.
I trust their dedication. I don't know if they're worthy of deciding. I think that
the decider decides.
Yeah. All right.
If things go south, things could go south.
And I am looking at a half-empty bottle of Cavatier, which means that we are just about out of time.
We are. The Rothman and Ice podcast. Check it out wherever you get your podcasts. It is sponsored by our friends at Bet365. Tyvus, what do you got coming up today with T-Bone?
Well, we're going to talk a little bit about the Blue Jackets, maybe having some potential buyers if they decide to sell. Obviously, the Browns rookie mini camp is going on today, so we'll talk a little bit about that. Andrew Berry spoke up in Cleveland on the Fan in Cleveland and had some interesting comments about Nick Chubb that I think people are going to want to hear about. And obviously, we got the Cavs is playing the Pacers tonight. Talk about a little about what needs to happen.
Favored on the road.
We got some guys coming back. That's why. Potentially.
Absolutely. All right, my man. Thanks for stopping in. Have a great rest of your day. Keep it locked here right on the Fan.
Here's a quick 10-second reminder that the Buckeyes have won the Natty. Also, we are all the games, and we always will. Thank you. Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan.
There's a new way to surround yourself with savings at Giant Eagle and Market District. Shop Giant Eagle's uncompromising quality at a reliable price with everyday savings. Look for signs throughout the store to find bargains on produce, meat, and more. Visit Giant Eagle to see how easy it is to save.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, you're the Carfax guy.
The Carfax from Carfax.
Wow.
And you, sir, work at Tire Discounters.
I sure do.
The Carfax top-rated service center.
Oh, right. You know, a lot of that's because of our services. But people think we're just about tires.
Maybe it's your name.
Yeah.
Tire Discounters and your jingle.
Oh, you like it?
I think it needs something.
Yeah? Like what?
Hit it. Plus brakes, oil changes, shocks, and struts, and more. Now that speaks to me.
Do you suffer from leg pain, leg swelling, varicose veins, or leg ulcers? Dr. Barry Zeta and Dr. Joseph Senta at Ohio Vein and Vascular Polaris are pioneers in the vein and vascular field. Dr. Zeta and Dr. Senta can perform minimally invasive procedures that will get you back on track to a pain-free life. Stop living with leg pain and start the process to healthy living with a free healthy leg screening. Go to loveyourveins.com or call 614-324-VEIN. That's 614-324-VEIN or loveyourveins.com.
It's Military Appreciation Month at Coughlin Chevrolet. Get double the GM military discount. Lease a new 25 Chevy Trax, $139 a month or $119 for military. New Silverado, just $349 a month or $309 for military. Now at Coughlin Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Military discount for active reserve and retired military personnel and their spouse. 39-month lease with $39.99 due at signing for Trax. 36-month lease with $49.99 due for Silverado. Plus tax, title, and license. 10,000 miles per year, 25 cents per mile over. See dealer for details and 6225.
If my buttery smooth voice represents the photos in your social media feed,
and this is closer to what real life is like. Social media can be fun, but remember, it's only showing you
the filtered version of life. So when social media is stressing you out, check in on yourself and remember, it's not the whole story. For more tips on reducing your stress, go to mha.ohio.gov/check-in. A message from the Ohio Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Hey, it's Anthony. You know what the slogan is at the Good Feet store? Good feet, good life. Friends have asked me, how are my personally fit arch supports different from the inserts and insoles they can buy online or in department stores? There are big differences. My Good Feet arch supports are designed to provide me firm yet flexible function. What does that do? They actually help correct poor foot biomechanics, which leads to providing me long-term pain relief. I was also the guy who thought, well, if I buy good shoes, my feet won't hurt. It wasn't a bad thought. A lot of people think shoes are always the problem, when in reality, it's often the foot that goes into the shoe that's the real source of discomfort. When I got my personally fit Good Feet arch supports, my feet felt stabilized. The pain and discomfort went away. For more than 30 years, the Good Feet store has helped thousands of people, just like me, discover the comfort they've been dreaming of. They're on Stringtown Road in Grove City or Polaris Parkway. Learn more at goodfeet.com.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply.
For over 78 years, our family's been part of your love stories. At Diamond Seller, we offer bigger diamonds, better prices, and timeless designs for every chapter of your life. From your first yes to your forever I do, trust